Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm Michael, Destro Designs, and we are live from Viper Den Studios. Joining me tonight is my brother. I did Mac Jackson, right? I'm sorry, that's the name, right?
It's right there.
Oh, there. Oh, sorry, I don't have my glasses on. So my brother Mac Jackson, you almost like now you've noticed him from in our Twitter community. Our brother, he's got three. They're all three podcasts, right?
Two podcasts, one audio series.
Okay.
And more. But yeah, as far as like Twitter knows, it's my music, which is separate, and then two podcasts and an audio series. So
awesome.
It's like three different. No, wait, let me do the math. 4 different handles on Twitter.
Okay. Yes. Okay. That's what I thought. Nice. Well, hey, you got to cast a wide net to bring it in, right? Doesn't matter how you do it. I am currently, I don't know. I don't think I got over, because I did the promos today. Dude, this is how crazy my life is. Normally I drop it on Wednesday for the Saturday show or Tuesday, and like the last few weeks I've barely been able to get it in. But yeah, so I'm doing Destro Designs and Viper Den Studios on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Threads. So that's 10 freaking times there. Now, mercifully on Facebook, they have an option when I go to post something, it allows me to do it to all the groups at once, right? So if I'm in a bunch of different groups, thank heavens. If they come out with an app that will allow me to make a post and then split it, the problem is when you go to tag somebody, like the one gentleman who maybe he might join us tonight, CG Horror. He's CG Horror on Twitter, but somebody has that on Instagram. So his Instagram is CG Horror on X. And so then I'd have to change it or whatever. So let's see. We got a couple people. Listen, it's a holiday weekend. I really wasn't even sure how many people would be available to kind of jump in or anything like that. So I do appreciate you joining me, brother. And one thing I always say is, time is like by far and away our most valuable commodity. So I really appreciate on the deepest of levels you taking the time to come in here tonight, brother. I really think that's awesome.
Problem. It was funny when you originally said we'll do it on Saturday, and I'm like,
fuck,
I don't care because it's just loud noise outside, but it might interrupt because it's the 4th of July. And they're like, actually Friday would be good. I'm like, all right, well that makes more sense.
I totally forgot. I did this. I did it one night. I'm trying to think. First of all, like 3 times I booked 2 guests on the same night.
Sure.
And not that you can't have them, but these were guys who were like toy photography icons. And I wanted to like focus, each they should get their own show. So they were nice enough to reschedule. And then one night, I think what I did was I was like, hey, I know I said Saturday, can you do Friday? And then that one day I wound up doing a show Friday. That was like 3.5 hours. Saturday, which was like a little over 4. I did a show on Sunday that was only like 2. And then again on Monday for 3. And it was like, dude, by Tuesday, I sounded like this. And
and you're also drained because to do this, you're on. You got to have the energy. You got to be fun. And then all right, well, now I'm going to go collapse over here. See you later.
Oh, brother, that's such a good point.
The next day. So that's no fun.
Dude, that's such a good point. So the first time I did, I think I've done 3 or 4 5-hour shows. And that's just like, because sometimes I have guests that are on the West Coast. They can't join till like 10. So I started 8, and then we almost start a whole new show again at 10 with new guys. So that's how it winds up going that long. But I remember the first time I did the 5-hour show, I didn't have to get up super early. So you figure 5 hours, it was over at 1. I probably didn't fall asleep till after 2 because you do have that initial, you're still buzzing. And but then the lights go out like a switch. It's just at one point, you don't even start to feel tired. You're just like, and then just pass out. But when I woke up the next day, bro, I was straight up hungover, like straight up, like, oh my God, I got a headache. I'm like kind of not nauseous, but like I'm fucked up. Like, believe me, I know what a hangover is. I'm very familiar with those.
I don't drink, but
I stopped years ago.
I think, you know what? If this is anything like what a real hangover feels like, why would you ever do that to yourself on purpose? Because this sucks.
Oh, well,
your head is heavy and you just, you're like, okay.
Yeah, no, brother, that was basically the reason. So I was a party monster. I've told little stories here and there. But no, when I was 35 when my kids are born, and that that just changed everything, right? They take the life out of you because you're giving them life, and so it is combined with the fact that you get older, the hangovers are worse, and I remember like it started with I had like 4 Heinekens over the course of like 5 hours, right? Which is very light drinking for me back then. And I woke up the next day and I had a wicked hangover. I was like, man, I must have like ate something or something else, right? Couldn't have been the beers. 2 days later, I still felt hungover. I was like, I can't freaking believe it. And then I think it was literally the next weekend, I had like a tiny bit of whiskey and like a beer afterwards. And again, I had like a 3-day hangover, and I was like, what the fuck? I actually talked to my doctor and I was like, listen, is it possible to like get a 3-day hangover from drinking a little bit of booze? He says, absolutely. And so, and then I think I tested it like 2 or 3 more times thinking there's no way, right? I'm talking about just not just for the sake of it, but like, I had occasions, birthday party, it was a wedding, it was, and yeah, the very last time it was after my kid's birthday. I had 2 Heinekens, 3-day hangover. And then like a month after that was Halloween. I was playing cards with my friends. I had a 1 finger of like Grey Goose, good vodka. That was it. It was like 2 sips, literally 3-day hangover. And I said, that's it. That's it.
Well, that's your body going, all right, you know what? You're older.
You've had enough. You've had enough.
Yeah, I know. Well, whenever I go to the doctor, I have a high liver count. It's just hereditary. Whatever. You got to watch what you eat. Man, go for a walk. I can get it down, but he said to me every time, because I go every 6 months. Doctor goes, so do you eat a lot of red meat? No, I could think of the 2 times in the 6 months I've had a steak.
Right.
But you drink, right? When you go to your gigs, when you're performing with your band, they must, he's like trying to trick me. They must give you like booze, right? Like free alcohol. I'm like,
right.
I wouldn't know. I don't drink. He goes, you sure? I'm like, it's hereditary. It's nothing, thank God I don't drink, because God knows what the number would be then.
Right, for sure. Oh yeah, no, my family on both sides are, and if any family's watching, I apologize, but it's true. Bunch of alcoholics, not like people who don't drink anymore, but they're all most of them are alcoholics.
Sure.
And so I kind of knew that growing up, that I had that in the back of my mind. And my mom at one point even had said, because my dad, I love him to death, but he was a very wild person, and he drank until I was like 11. Actually, it's a crazy story. I think I've mentioned it here on the podcast before. My parents actually got divorced when I was 6, and then got back together when I was 11, and eventually got remarried. Like you said, my dad was. They were young. First of all, they were young. They were like 17, almost 18, or just turned 18 when I was born. So they were kids. And then just my dad was a party person, and it was a problem. And so eventually, my mom, and I have 2 sisters. One was born way later after they got back together, but at the time it was me, my mom, and my sister Amanda. We had to move out, and a couple of years went by, 5-6 years, and he actually had a seizure on a beach because he was all fucked up, had been up all from yesterday, and he was causing a ruckus. There was like a public drunkenness ticket, but he was on like probation for a DWI, and the judge was like, hey, instead of sending you to prison, I'm going to send you to a 30-day rehab, but this is the only chance you're getting. If you don't complete the rehab or get in trouble again, it is fucking see you later. Sure. And yeah, he was like, I remember he like called my mom and was like, I could do this, but like I need my family, and he never drank again, and that was it.
Good.
Learned a lot about it was tough the first few years because he was raw dogging it. He didn't go to no groups. He was not a therapy guy. Sure. And and also I was a pain in the ass. I made a lot of mistakes. I did a lot of dumb shit when I was a teenager, even into my early 20s. But then once I got my head on straight, sort of kinda, he had as well. He's like been my best friend for many, many years. So it's a good story, to be honest.
Well, you know what? They're for the grace of God. I mean, he was smart enough to fix it. So many people don't.
Well, here's the thing about my dad. My dad is like every aspect of him is to an extreme, right? So like all it took for him to say was, I'm in control, not this alcohol anymore. The alcohol literally didn't stand a chance. Uh-huh. If he's done with something, it is like, and that includes people and everything. Like, he's very, very I can't think of it. I feel like there's a word I'm missing. Yeah. Very committed in that way. Like something happens, that's it. But yeah, it's very good.
Because I try to have that. I always like, my mother's like, oh, your numbers are a little high from the last time. I got it under control. It was the winter time. I didn't eat well. I wasn't able to exercise.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get my liver count lower. Relax. It's. I know I'm in control. I did it before. I'll do it because I wouldn't know. I mean, I just go every 6 months. I would never have known because it doesn't affect me physically.
Right.
Because oh, hey, your numbers are high. What does that mean? Get them lower. Okay. What do I have to do that? Boom, done. And also, part of it was my kids are 14 and 17 and very active in the theater and have a lot going on. So by the time we would all get home, my wife would go, oh, I'll just grab some fast food and, it's easier because I can't be cooking at 9:00 at night.
Right.
Okay, guess what? Fast food, enough of that. Your body even goes, just because I could feel it inside me going, could you not do that anymore? You need something. You need something made from home. And so I said that to the doctor too. I said, I don't want to throw her under the bus, but that's kind of what's happened too. Yeah, don't do that anymore.
Right. All right, let's see. Caught me off guard here. Like I said, I am brand new to the old so I was streaming from a here we go. Streaming from a phone like this whole entire time for like the first 49 episodes or something like that. Because it's kind of a crazy story. I had my phone that was working better because I couldn't get my camera to turn on my laptop, right? And so it was like I was like, man, what is going on with this? I just can't get it. And then what I realized what the problem was, I had got it brand new, and my cousin, who's like my little brother, immediately went to town, put a bigger, memory in there, and took a $300 computer, turned it into like a $2,000 laptop, right? Which was perfect. And but something happened. Apparently, it's a problem. Windows 11, where if you sometimes it like won't allow you to freaking access your damn whatchamacallit. It won't allow you to access your the settings. So you hit settings and that gear comes up and then it just disappears. And so I couldn't give it permission to turn it on. I was like, man, this freaking sucks. And this, like I said, my little brother, he moved away. It's like, well, at the time I went the wrong way the first time. So it took me like 2 hours to get there. And I was like, man, I don't have 2 hours out, spend maybe 3 hours there and then 2 hours back. So a whole day, I literally just do not have a day that I can commit to that. Yeah. And thankfully, one day I finally was like, cause I popped up with like a mic issue on my phone. And it was really like to the degree that I couldn't do it anymore. Like I was on with Mark, the show that I did, Destro is my spirit animal, that I do with my brother Mark on his channel, and I had to stay quiet the whole show. Thankfully, we had a guest on, so it wasn't like the end of the world. But dude, it was so bad. I was like, all right, I finally have to do it, and I just carved out a day. I drove all the way out there, and he fixed it up for me. He actually fixed up my desktop as well, which he made that one for me for being the best man in his wedding. Anyways, I finally got it fixed. And so now in order to pull up pictures, this is what we got. I have to like use my phone to find it. I email it to myself. Then I have to download it and rename it. And then I can pull it up. All that just so I could pull. And I didn't even pull it all the way up. So I'm going to go through the chat here in a second. As soon as I find this freaking picture. Okay. Are they, man, I thought they went in alphabetical order. Okay,
isn't that fun? All the computer issues just to do a podcast.
Yeah, right. It's crazy. So here is, if you're unfamiliar with this, I think her name is Sophie Cunningham. She's a WNBA player, and it's the point heard around the world. It's been memed to death. And I saw this today, and I was like, oh, what a perfect combination of what's happening in pop culture and it being the 4th of July. And also, it mimics perfectly because that picture's real, obviously, with the exception of the hat and outfit. So that is she's mimicking the meme is mimicking Uncle Sam. There's that famous "I Want You" poster. Which, fun fact, Uncle Sam is a real person. Sam Wilson is from the town that I grew up in, Troy, New York, and is buried in Oakwood Cemetery, which is the third largest cemetery in the nation. Somebody could fact that might not. I've been saying that for a long time, and I don't remember where I heard it or even if it's true. So we've got Serpentor's Layers here in the house. Welcome in, my brother. I appreciate you coming. Brother Riptide O'Leary, linchpin of some amazing things that's been happening in our community lately. And we will touch more on that because we are going to be wrapping up a raffle that we got going on. We'll talk about that in a few. Brother Rip, thank you for coming. Giant man-size thing. What's up, my brother? How are you? My brother Big Red in the house. What's going on? Big Red, I've been loving those pictures you put out today. The snake eyes standing in front of the fireworks and the red flag I thought was amazing. And there was the barbecue one. I just saw it the last second. And then what was the other one? I think there was another one you did this morning. Oh, it was Shipwreck in the Devilfish or something like that. Very, very cool. My upstate New York brother Orskizio is here. So he is almost certainly frying on the surface of the sun as I am. We'll talk about that in a hot second. GI Jedi is here. What is up, my brother? Big Red says, I learned never take advice on eating from a doctor that looks like they're 100 pounds soaking wet. Yeah, hey, and here's the thing about any kind of advice is that we are all literally unique individuals that what works for some person may 100% not work for another person. It's a lot of trial and error. We don't come with our own personalized books. Very cool. Windows 11 can suck my PP. So Serpentor's Lair is also not a fan. Y'all familiar with this meme out here? Because this shit had me dying. I don't watch sports as much as I used to. I'm in like 11 fantasy football leagues, so I still watch football. But everything else everything else has been dialed back. Baseball became boring, and basketball I will watch, especially this year. My Knicks went to the championship. I actually stayed up with my wife and kids a couple nights watching because it was just amazing. So very, very cool. You watch any sports, brother? You a sports guy?
No. I'll occasionally watch hockey if there's like a local game to go to. It's more about I'll take my son and we'll go to a hockey game or maybe a baseball game because you get free tickets. Well, why not? I don't want to pay for them. There's enough places and friends that go, I have these extra tickets here. Okay. Or if one for a friend has a baseball party at one of those things, great. Yeah, I'll take you. But as far as no, I'm not. I'll sometimes we'll go to like a local boxing match. That's fun. We're from Scranton, so the
Pennsylvania.
Yeah. So
no shit. Okay.
There, boxing is what Scranton was always one of the big boxing towns. So you always get some good fights, but you have to be looking for when it is because it's not all the time. I'll say, "Ooh, you know what? I think it's boxing season." I'll look something up and try and get it.
Right.
Luckily, there was one right down the block. I could have walked to it, and I took him to it. And you get your money's worth because it's not just 2 hours. Oh no, it's like 4 at least. All right, well, there's your main match. Okay, there was that one. Oh, now they're gonna have kids come up and kick the crap out of each other. Okay, hey, that's nice. And it just keeps going and going to the point where I'm like, I'm hungry. Can we go to Denny's or something? Yeah, all right. So it was like 10:30. We're like, we gotta go. I don't know how much longer it kept going, but yeah, I mean, as far as sports go, I admire the romantic quality of it where it brings people together, like that type of thing. However, the other side of it where people yell and scream at you because you don't root for their team, I don't miss that, So it's one of those. Like I like the idea of it. I'm not. It's just not my thing.
It's an amazing representation of the duality of man. Like without question, you really get to see opposite ends of the spectrum. So something I just pop into a couple things real quick. Something that was I put out today, a post about this. This movie is called Fortress, and a couple of people were like, "I don't remember this movie. Do you remember this movie, brother?" It is. I believe
I would remember it, but I never saw it.
I want to say it might be Australian because they definitely have accents, if I could remember. And without spoiling anything, basically this lady in the blue shirt she's a teacher And if this is like a countryside town where like the school is fucking, you can't see the school from your house, but we're in like the giant plains or whatever, a little bit of mountains. And so she's there teaching, little kids to bigger kids, because that's how school was then. You were all in one fucking room.
Awesome.
And right, craziness. But anyway, these 4 people that show up, it's men with the crazy masks. There's the Santa mask, which is scary, the duck mask. I honestly don't remember what the other ones were, but they take all these, they kidnap all these kids.
I think.
That sounds about right.
Right behind the Santa, you could see it. He's got his head tilted.
I don't have I got to put my glasses on.
Yeah,
for sure.
It is the head's
tilted. Oh, okay. Oh my God. Yeah, I completely missed that. And then, I think there is only 3. I thought it was 4, but it could only be 3. But anyways, this movie was terrifying as a kid. I saw way too much shit that I was not supposed to see at my age, right? Like, wow. And the more I think back about it, just popped in my head the other day. And I was like, I saw a Santa Claus, like it was something I was watching, and I was like, what does that remind me of? And I was like, oh my God, that freaking movie. And so anyway, like I think that people, anyway, they have the teacher tries to get the kids to all band together. They need to make an escape. And it's just a fucking psycho movie. So I just wanted to toss that out there. Chat, have y'all seen this movie? Please let me know. I mean, holy hell.
We
got
the Fortress movie I know is with Christopher Lambert trying to get out. There's like 2 of them. And he's trying to get out of a maximum security prison.
Right. I know exactly what you're talking about. If you Google Fortress, that's what comes up. You only see that. You gotta put like Fortress 80s movie or something like that. Some more members to the chat. NJ _ 8088 is in the house. What's up, my dude? 610 Yojo Daddy. What is up, my brother? He says Sophie equals fuck around and find out. Thanks for coming through, 610. Good to see you, brother, for sure. Do we get to discuss the much needed G.I. Joe Stargate crossover today? Right. Well, we are definitely going to be talking about the G.I. Joe movies. We are going to go what is line for line with the Danny McBride. And it's only a minute, right? So, but I feel like everything he said had something to it. And I thought it was interesting. Now, of course, this is coming from my deeply rooted on a cellular level, my obsession with G.I. Joe. And so what's happening is I'm changing it to exactly, I'm like, I may be hearing things in a way that they weren't, like I'm so hopeful that we finally get something. We'll get more into that in a hot second, but thank you, gentlemen, for chat, for joining us. I greatly appreciate it. Like I said, I know it's a holiday weekend, and a lot of people out there doing all kinds of stuff. You got plans for the weekend, my brother? What do you got going on?
This is it. I hope not, because it's hot as can be.
The heat wave too. Then
the fact that I'm in my office away from the air conditioner shows like this is the extent of how much I plan to work this weekend.
Right. Right.
I didn't have work today, and tomorrow, like my kids are running around. They got stuff to do. My son's going to go to a sleepover tonight in I don't know what time it is now. In a half hour, he's going. And then, so he'll be gone. My daughter is off with her boyfriend. So, okay, that's if other than maybe having to pick somebody up or drive somebody somewhere, I don't have plans and I don't want them. I want to, the weekend.
Dude, it's amazing. The difference.
Maybe I'll be creative. I don't know. Maybe I will, but I find myself having to just tell myself sit and relax.
Good,
right?
Good.
Like just because otherwise you're going to burn out. And like you said, but 2 podcasts, audio series, and a music career. That's enough. You got to pick your what are you going to focus on? You know what I mean?
We sound very similar in that way. So I do the 2 podcasts, tonight, and then we do it on Mondays. So again, with my brother Mark, Destro is my spirit animal. Thank you always, Mark, for having me on. I write 2 articles a week for Serpentor's Lair. They drop on Tuesdays and Fridays. I'm now the writer for the Shadow Strike comic book, which is my brother Roblox is making his whole line of toys, the Shadow Strike toys. We originally decided we were talking about he wanted to do a 12 comic book run to just build the lore of the characters, and I was like, well, how about we do a booklet first where there's some pictures but a lot of writing to establish everything. And so yeah, I've started doing that a little bit. When I go on vacation in 2 weeks, that's when I'm really going to dive into it and like sink my head into it. So very, very stoked about that. I feel like there was something else I've been forgetting that I do. I mean, that's in the world of this. Yeah. So we are very similar in the projects. And I'm developing destrodesigns.com, which is going to be just a kind of a, I'm gathering a group of people to contribute things like about, it'll be like, well, like I'm blessed to have who I think is the best action shot toy photography master, and that is my brother Mate Mylar. He's going to contribute kind of like some pro tips. He's going to just a little something about, boom, here's the here's what I do with this. He'll look at how I do that, something along those lines. The Sister D Arsenal, Mo's Mine, my brother CG Horror contributing, kind of just like a DIY 3D printing, right? Like those dudes are awesome, and they can give the average person out there some tips on, how to do this and how to do that. Mm-hmm. And just kind of like I'm looking at it as an extension of the community we have in Twitter, right? With just kind of some forums to, just discuss things like basically, toy photography, stuff like that. I feel it'll be like a good complement to like what Serpentor's layer does, but his is much bigger and better and got all kinds of shit on it. But like, it's just the format of that, how there is a with the way he has it set up. But just for like, we got toy photography, we got I also want to make a room for where we could have verified people to trust that we trust to do selling and trading. I think that's a big thing too. Like screw eBay or whatever. We all know each other. There's no reason we can't be like, oh, I've got these 3 figures looking to trade, but would take this much. You know what I mean? Just let's kick it off. So that's coming soon. So yeah, we are very similar in that we like to do a lot. And I've always been this way. When I started collecting as an adult, and it was literally like I found that Alley Viper in December 2024. I had like 150 figures by like March, and then by like April, May, I think by when did I start the podcast? And by May, I had a fucking podcast. My first episode was like 2.5 hours long, and then I was like, oh, I can. That's right. I'm a Blabatron. I can just do like this is. I should definitely be doing this. And like, I had a real
your Autobot name, by the way, your Autobot name, Blabatron.
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to think if I thought of that or if one of my daughters thought of that. That's it. But I mean, hey, look, eventually, maybe someday I would like to do all of this full time. I wish if I had a way to get paid from it, podcasting. Listen, I could do a morning show and then a night show, like damn near. I could do a morning show Monday through Friday, and then still do, like a Friday night or a Saturday night, whatever. And I would love to do it. I grew up listening to Stern, who it was, that's, I don't want to say like lowbrow humor per se, but like, it was a lot of jokes and a lot of that shit I thought was fucking funny. So, but yeah. So it's, maybe someday that's, I can just kind of do it all, the same thing. Who knows? I mean, I doubt I will break into being like some, like a blockbuster, comic book writer, because I just, I do think at one point, I don't know if you've ever heard me tweet about it, but I at one point I thought I was going to be the next Hunter S. Thompson. I was convinced of it. And, and then it was like, I went to college. I took this class. I wound up teaching construction for a year and then started my own business. And I was like, oh, okay, if I want to make money, I have to do this, right? I've written books and books and books and all like pages and pages, and I've never got paid a single dime for it. So it's, hard choices had to be made. So, but yeah, that's what's up.
I'll tell you just what I tell everybody else. You have to do it because it's a vocation, not because you expect to get paid. Yes, I would love to get paid. I would, to be able to make some money, which is why whenever somebody wants to leave me a tip through Patreon, I'm like, please, I love you. But it's not my motivation. My whole thing is I don't want to leave this earth and not have done something. Too many people wake up, they go to their job, They watch some TV and then they go to bed. Next thing you know, they're dead and gone. And well, they were nice, but you want to leave something. You want to make the world a little better than the way you found it, right? So I figure doing podcasts are fun because I can help promote and, like you said, talk about things that you love. Like if I can help promote some good and say to you or anybody else, hey, have you ever watched or have you ever listened to or, have you ever read? And if, because these are things that matter to me. These are the things that have changed my life. So why would I not want to bestow that on anybody else? Like, it's so good. Why would I not want that for you? And then the audio series, I have to write. I've always acted, but I'm not going to go to New York. I'm not going to go to LA to try and be an actor. I'm not going to do that. I don't have time to be doing local plays or anything. But you know what? I write already. I've done voice work for other shows. Why the heck wouldn't I do my own? So I get to scratch the acting itch, the writing itch, and hopefully contribute something worthwhile to the mythology of what,
Oh, shit.
Okay.
No, sorry. Sorry. I just got a text message. I sent the wrong thing to my brother, CG, or CG, if you're watching, bro, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, brother. I didn't mean to do that. CG, it's coming right now. Oh my God. All right. I'm sorry, brother. Please continue.
No, that was it. Just, you get to scratch all those itches because you so desperately want to matter to the world. I don't need to be rich. I don't need to be famous, but I do want to matter. I do want to have something that I've left behind that somebody can enjoy and maybe go, oh, wow, have you listened to this audio series? Wow. Or this guy's podcast was a lot of fun. There's so much joy in contributing to the world that way.
Well, you sound exactly like a lot of what I have been saying, in this community for a year, that like some things happened early on. Coincidentally, the gentleman I'm talking about, CG Horror, we had an exchange with each other that just kind of like, because we were in essence strangers, and it was a very personal one, where he was very open about what something was going on in his life. I did something that really helped him. He was open enough to share it with everybody else and how the effects were. And from there, the next thing you knew, I couldn't stop trying to help people. And over the course of 2025, we built this community based on basically being positive, being caring, being encouraging, and also giving. Like, now, not everybody can just give shit, right? The economy is on fire. There's the world. It's difficult right now. I was blessed last year. I had an incredible year business wise. I mean, things are fine this year, but I'm doing a remodel in my own house. So it's like all my money's been going there. But, I always felt like I got what I got in life because I was always giving. Now, I don't know how to like chalk that up. I mean, there's a lot of different reasons why the universe is the way that it is. Is it a God? Is it just happenstance? Are we living in the Matrix? Like, who knows what the fuck is going on? Hopefully we at least find one good. If there was something that would be good from dying, it would be, do I get to see behind the curtain of what the fuck is going on? Like, what are we doing here? But anyway, it's at the end of the day, you want to be able to, like you said, feel like that I not only made a mark, but like I changed things for the better. And so like early on, I can't remember who it was that I was talking to in a DM, but they had said something that really added so much fuel to the fire in what I tried to do in the community. Was that he had said, he was like, man, I just wanted to thank you because what this community is so good and so positive that he's like, when I put my phone down, I walk away happier, and I'm happier and nicer to the people around me. So to me, what that means is he's then affecting multiple people in a positive way. They can then turn around and be more positive to other people. Yeah, I couldn't I couldn't be happier when I heard that. And there was a lot. There was a lot of other DMs from some people that were struggling mentally. We've been doing stuff to help people financially. We had somebody last year that we wound up helping out. We just had a straight up donations people gave. We saved Christmas for a family, and right now we're doing the raffle for Brother Animus. If anybody listening, if you scroll all the way up, you still want in, I'm probably going to go because I keep getting like a little trickle here, a little trickle there, and I really wanted to get. Hey, what's up, brother?
How's it going, man?
Good. Yo, I'm so sorry, dude. Thank God I looked at the phone to see. I sent the fucking Twitter link, dude. What a bozo.
It's all right.
Hi.
Good.
So CG, here is Mac. This is my brother, CG.
Hi. I didn't know you guys were brothers. I just, whenever
I'm sorry. I call it
actual brother.
Yeah. No. Sorry. We're as close as you can be without having actual blood ties, right? I would say that. I would say that for sure. I actually got to meet CG and brother Rip in the comments. We met up at the CradleCon in Long Island. Jeez, what was that? A month ago? 2 months ago?
A month ago.
A month ago. Wow. God, a lot's happened in this month, boy, because that feels like a really long time ago. Holy shit.
Yeah.
But it was a fantastic time. I think me and CG hit crazy traffic. He's coming from over your way, Mac, he's just outside Philly. Right? Did I say that right? Right about just outside Philly?
I'm outside of Hershey and Harrisburg.
Right.
Yeah, I know where you're from.
It was it took me, so what should have took me 2.5 hours took me what, 5.5, something like that. It was double. Anyways, I made it. We had a great time. It was fucking awesome. So yeah. Again, my apologies, CG.
No problem.
Oh my God, what a dopey thing. But yeah. Oh, CG, I wanted to, before we go too far, and I hate to break up the flow because we're talking about some good stuff, but have you ever seen this movie? This movie Fortress that I got up here on the screen from the 80s.
It's called Fortress.
The masked men kidnapped that lady in the front. She's a teacher. They kidnapped the teacher and all the kids. They've got accents. I think it's Australian or some other fucking country. I can't believe the amount of people that have not seen this. To me, it's staggering to me.
You could probably Google it. If you wanted to know if it was Australia, you just Google it, right?
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Go to IMDb; it'll tell you.
Yeah. Well, anyways, I want to get this off the screen, but so many people were, when I made that post, were like, I've never seen that before, which is crazy. But yeah, we were just talking about the community and all the good that it's done, and how we all want to impact the world in a positive way, right? And leave something for the people behind us. And Big Red says, I looked up the movie Fortress. It doesn't sound like the way you described it. Because there's another one that's more recent. If you Google Fortress 80s movie, it'll come up. It's from 1986. And it'll show. Yeah. I did the same thing earlier, and I was like, oh, there's got to be something else in there. So
what I wanted to tell you, and I'm sure other people have said it too. You were talking about the community, right? And how supportive everybody is. Let me tell you from my point of view. I'm not on TikTok, but I'm basically on all the other things: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, because with all that you do, you want people to be able to see it. So you're trying to be active in everything, right? Blue Sky and and you get different amounts of reaction. Like, for example, Facebook is kind of, maybe you'll get somebody occasionally that'll respond or like a thing or whatever, but they won't look to interact. Blue Sky, kind of non-existent. I might get a like once in a while. Twitter, typically, and I think we can all attest to this, could be a cesspool from just strangers deciding to snipe at you and be nasty and that looks like crap or blah, 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 whatever their negativity is. And so it's very frustrating to be a creator of anything and try and share it. When I'm on Facebook and I throw it to a group, oh, it's G.I. Joe, here's some of the things I did with G. Oh yeah, here's Stargate. You'll get people go, oh, that's garbage. Like, why would you spread negativity? I say all this because in the last few months, you guys and everybody that's listening and everybody that's contributing have turned that corner for me, at least in the realm of being supportive with G.I. Joe, and to find you guys and to put something out there and go, and for example, Mike, when last week or so, I was like, I'm sorry I didn't tag you on this. I didn't want to be a pest. And you're like, no, brother, come on,
for sure.
Well, thank you, because you guys, all of you, whether you're listening to this now or later, you know who you are. I'm very, very thankful for the kindness and the, to quote you, brotherhood of this community. This is what social media is supposed to be, right? We're supposed to either say something nice or don't say anything at all. Just because everybody wants to be a critic and everybody wants to be nasty, especially if they don't know you, they can zing you and you just spread a little hate today. But you guys have been the opposite of that.
Awesome.
And I'm very, very thankful to be part of this.
Great. That makes my day. It truly does.
Yeah.
And I'm sure CG probably relate to this a little bit too, but like after you interact with a community like this, it almost seems insane to do it any other way, right? You start like people that will say something nasty. Now, we're not talking about being critical, right? Like my brother Aaron Sparrow has been very critical about the movie Supergirl, but it's not a negative, right? You can criticize something and not be, but also like, it's like, why would you go out of your way to, somebody's an amateur photographer. Why take the time to tell them they suck? I can't wrap my head around it. Like, I mean, now I grew up with my lifelong friends. Oh, we bust each other's balls all the time, where
comfortable with each other.
But to a stranger who clearly took a minute to just try to take a nice photo with his fucking toys, and somebody is be like, oh, that looks like shit. The lighting's weird. Who poses like that? I wouldn't have used those figures. It's like, it's mind blowing to want to just go out of your way to shit on somebody like that. So like, I do my best to try and so I did used to do progress videos on Instagram. And so I remember, the positivity was well received, but it didn't quite have the same impact or influence as it did in the way here on Twitter. People really bought in to the idea of, we can live this way. It's a better way to live, where you're not like, don't swim in the cesspool, swim in the clean water. Like, I thank you so much for sharing that it is good for you,
Well, because I mean, like, okay, here's another example. AI, internet, any sort of social media, it could be a weapon or it could be a tool. Right. Depends on how you use it. Right. Now, with AI, would I ever want to do anything that would take money out of an artist's hands? No. That's when AI is bad. But for you and I, who don't have the money to pay people to do all this art, you just want to do a neat thing where you show your Joes in a battle or, in the jungle or whatever the case may be that you had in your head. It takes 2 seconds. You do that. But so many people on the internet love to go, AI, F you, that sucks. Well, okay, wait, pick your moment, because it's not all garbage. It depends on how it's used.
Right.
If you're stealing from an artist, it's bad. Yes. If it's taking the place of real people, it's bad.
Right.
Let's mind your stuff. Just use it wisely. Same thing.
Using it as a backdrop on your toy photography seems, it should not.
Don't knee-jerk reaction it with hate. Like,
right.
And by the way, all the people who come at you go, get them out of here. That's AI. That sucks. That's AI crap. You're not changing anything. You just put out hate. Like, it's not going to stop anybody from doing what they're doing, because you and I aren't the $1 million companies that could switch out an actor with AI, which would be bad.
Right.
But, yes. For an amateur, guy on his phone for 5 seconds. Just pick your battles. It's
for sure.
It out before you get.
I think the thing about that these people don't pick their battles because it's all battle. Meaning, like, most of the time, somebody that's going to make that comment is not just all of a sudden saying this about your stuff. They've been saying this shit to most people, right? Maybe not every comment is that bad, but you know what I mean. My brother NJ, oops, I hit the wrong one here. I forgot my screen is touchscreen. My brother NJ Eddie 88. He says, oh my God, doing terribly here. He says, I love watching, well, he meant to say Mike, but I love watching Mike's live streams. I can relate to how much you talk about Joe, how passionate you can be about the line, even going back to your childhood. I love it, bro. Keep up the great work. Well, thank you for sharing, my dude. I appreciate it. That's the kind of shit. That's that fuel for the fire. So that's why, like, giving the praise, you get the praise, how it feels. So you give it to everybody back. Right. And quite frankly, most of what goes on in the community is fine. There's nothing, it's not shit. It's actually good. Like, CG doesn't post much, like photography or whatever, but when he does, it's fucking fantastic. He took a raptor shot last year. It was amazing. I'm still waiting for Raptor Part 2 on that for sure. That was a good one. The framing, the light and everything was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But where my brother is an artist though is at 3D printing, because I don't know if you could see that asp right here. And I got a Night Raven drone. I have a literal fucking what would be like a what would you call it, like a Cobra warehouse full of amazing 3D printed stuff. Oh, and by the way, publicly, just congratulations, CG, on the you won the Lego contest.
Yeah, I won the Centauri Carbon 2 combo from Lego. Yeah,
well,
just out of the blue, man. I was really happy to wake up and see that.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah! Tell us about the printer, brother, because I can't remember what I know. It was a good one.
It's their brand new multi print. It can do 4 colors at a time.
What?
Printer, yeah. So and it's not a bed slinger where the bed goes back and forth. It's an XY, so more stable, pretty much user friendly, beginner friendly, and stuff. So I'm really excited to get it. I got to find a place for it yet. So.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. I gotta get back to it. I actually have to clean out the old resin in my whatchamacallit and get that out of there. So CG set me up with all the how-to and walked me through like a child trying to learn how to use a computer for the first time. Got me set up with a Lego Mars 5, which is a beautiful little thing. Does exactly what I'm looking for it to do. I just got to get some different files. I was hoping to get more Pew Pew files, and there's not as many good ones as I thought out there. But Mike, what I'm really enjoying is I'm getting it set up over on my desktop, and I'm gonna have my kids start using it. So I know, like, they're both smart as a whip. And if I let them loose on the design thing, they will be making shit better than I will in like no time. Like literally next week, they will know how to use it better than I will. That's not an exaggeration. My one daughter, she by the time she was like 5, she had a memory that it was time and time again proven that, like, I had to say, I was like, if she said it was over there, is probably over there. Like, it got to the point where she was never wrong. I would tell her that. I'd be like, oh my God, you're always so smart. You're good at everything. But she's at that age now where I'm like, listen, you're not right about everything. She thinks she is for sure. But so that's awesome, brother. Do you know when you're going to get that?
I don't. I gave him all my information yesterday.
Nice.
It's the weekend in China, and I guess they don't work, so I haven't heard anything from them. I'm hoping it comes from an American warehouse, so it'll get here quicker.
That's what's up. Yeah, that would be nice, right? Very cool. Some new people in the house. My brother Pop Cult Frenzy, thanks for coming. Mac, I hope you're following Pop Cult Frenzy. He's the gentleman that has supplied all of us with I've gotten a third of my collection through his product links. So he is on constantly all day. His feed is full of where all the good stuff is. G.I. Joe focused, but he definitely has all kinds of other stuff that's toy related toys. And here's the link. here's this, and it's a public service as far as I'm concerned. He is out there doing the Lord's work, and I appreciate you to know.
Frenzy or
Pop Cult Frenzy. Yep. He's right there in the chat. It's but at Pop Cult Frenzy. Yep. That is my dude. Call sign Smash is here. What is up, my brother? I don't know. I think I meant to message you. He arrived safely. We'll be putting together that second raffle after I close this first one. I believe I'm going to do it while I'm on vacation. I'll pick from the hat. That way I can send all the prizes out. But we'll talk about that in a hot minute. Chris from Sis3 Arsenal is here. What is up, my brother? We'll get into some more stuff. I've got some product picks to show off later. Head on over to sis3arsenal.com. Use Destro Designs to get 10% off. Pick you up a t. I love this shirt. I absolutely love this shirt. I was going to wear it again tonight, but I forgot I had to wash it first again. But it's a great shirt, super quality, and it looks awesome. He's got a few more different styles. I really love the ones where it's just got his logo across the front, and the colors he chose are very, very cool. So thanks for stopping in, Chris. I appreciate it. And let's see here. I don't know why sometimes I hit this one spot. Okay, there we go. Spentor's Lair also, he mentioned he's really looking forward to some Stargate talk. So we are, I tell you what, where are we at here? Almost 9. Let's get into it. Your GI journey, my brother. So what kind of toys did you like as a kid? Was GI Joe in there?
Yeah. All right, buckle up. So I'm 51.
Okay.
So I was there from the beginning, as far as like
awesome.
the 83, Joes, not the 60s stuff, but so okay, let's see. When I was a kid, the big ones were G.I. Joe, Transformers, He-Man, and then when we finally got them, people won't believe this, but we didn't always have good superhero toys. Maybe you got a Mego once in a while. That was the doll with the real clothes, which I thought was really cool.
Oh, yeah. I think I remember that.
Few and far between. It wasn't until the Superpowers line came out in like 83, 84. And then you got, I actually have them in a bucket behind me. The real cloth cape that connected to the necks.
Okay.
I mean, but you got to remember, before that, you didn't have good superhero toys. So that was where that started. But as far as G.I. Joe goes, G.I. Joe, and I could say this, and I'm pretty sure I'm accurate, has got to be the best line, the best toy line ever, because you got a Joe for everybody. I mean, there's such a variety. Whatever scratches that itch, you're going to eventually find a Joe that, connects with certain. You want a jungle guy? You got a jungle guy.
Right.
Yeah, well, you got a plethora of them over there. There's something for everybody. So I remember when my first Joe was Breaker, when they came out with the original 7, right? And I didn't know their names, didn't know anything. I just knew that this commercial looked really cool, and they were the smaller guys that I think will go into a vehicle at some point. Little did I know. And maybe, the dream of maybe I'll get a fortress hideout, like a headquarters. Oh, can you imagine? And, you're a little kid and your mind is just playing with the idea. So first Joe I got was Breaker. He didn't come with the gun. And I'm like, all right, wait, I got to make the little wire thing go into the backpack. And okay, he's got the, all right, cool. You play with them. And then I guess for that, my birthday or Christmas, because they're both in December, I was getting Snake Eyes. And who else did I get? There's a couple. I didn't get Grunt or Scarlet, but I was getting like the other Stalker. I got Stalker. But then from there, I'm like, okay, now we're getting the cartoon. Oh, it's like the commercials. Now, the comics I didn't really get at the time. I remember other kids talking about them. They killed such and such in an issue.
Right.
They didn't. No, they really, really did. It's much more serious than the cartoon. But because I was obsessed with the cartoon. I mean, I'm still watching them now, which I hadn't, obviously, for years I hadn't, but now that I'll get there, I'm jumping ahead. So, you know, like any kid, I want that guy, and I want that guy, and I went, oh, the first bad guy I got was Destro with the silver mask, and you know, I'm remembering those moments of it being so new and so undefined. I knew right away Destro was majorly a bad guy. Like he would be someone that you go, oh, it's not just, you know, flunky number 2. No, this guy's trouble. And you get the guys that you wanted. And I had an army, and I had the cool bad guys. I don't think I ever got like a plain old trooper. I would get the Baroness, and I would get Dr. Mindbender, and I could never find a good. Actually, I could never find a Cobra Commander at all for years until they came out with the battle suit one, and then I'm like, you know what? It's still Cobra Commander. Maybe the tide's changing, and this is how he's going to look from now on. I got a Cobra Commander, but I wanted the silver mask, and I wanted the hood figure. So I got some of the best toys. I got the Dragonfly Copter, Wild Bill. I got the tank with Steeler. That tank was one of the best toys I could ever have gotten. I wanted to get the jet, but I had to get like the second jet with the wings that went forward.
Right. Oh,
the Conquest.
Thank you. The pilot was cool, but I always wanted, because of that one issue that I did have, was the showdown with the 2 planes over Springfield. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
You do.
Issue 34.
So that I was reading in a car on a trip to the shore in New Jersey, and I was in the back seat. Okay, shut up, and we're going to drive for some hours now. Okay, I got my books. And I got like the 3-pack from Woolworths or wherever. You know how they used to sell random 3-packs of comics?
Yes.
Because it was before comic book stores, really. You either went to the corner store if you had one, or you found the 3-pack. Well, got me a 3-pack. And I was reading that in the back of the car. Blew my mind because it was so well written. I was on the edge of my seat. I always wanted that jet or even the Cobra Rattler. Couldn't get them. Got what I got, and I was happy for it. But then, let's see. So you get the idea. I love G.I. Joe. I got that Terror Drome. Oh, I couldn't get it. The closest I could get to a G.I. Joe base was the toolbox looking one.
The Mobile Command Center.
Your Mobile Command Center. I have that because I wanted that because I couldn't get the long gray one with the cell and the pad for the copter.
Iconic as the base was, I like the Mobile Command Center better.
Right?
I don't know if that's a hot take, but I definitely love that one more.
Sure. I mean, by that point, it was an upgrade from what they had. So they were able to kind of give you a little more and, you know. But, so, yeah, I had that. And I kept at it until, what would we say? Maybe the early 90s when they started to definitely not even try to be more military anymore. Like, I remember one of the last figures I got was Leatherneck. And that was because he looks like he's an actual soldier. You know, because some of these Joes, I mean, hey, you like what you like. But I remember going, how am I supposed to take this guy seriously? He's going to stay, you know, he's going to be next to Gung Ho and Sergeant Slaughter, looked military, acted like the, you know, drill sergeant. And then you got guys like Lightfoot. Shoot me in the face. What the heck is this? You know, like the helmet doesn't even look like they're trying.
Right.
So I just, the more colorful they got and didn't look like real soldiers that were in danger, I couldn't get them anymore. I couldn't find any good ones. I got Jinx. I love Jinx because, you know, she was a student of Snake Eyes who I loved. I don't know if I said this on Twitter, but I had a classmate who I was over at his house over the weekend, and he's like, "Oh, bring some of your Joes." So I brought Stalker and I brought a couple others. He goes, "Oh, Stalker. I will trade you Stalker. You like Snake Eyes? Yeah, I love the one with the visor and timber. I have him."
Awesome. Right.
I'll trade you Snake Eyes and Timber for that Stalker. And I'm like, well, Stalker doesn't even have the rotating arms. It's just the joints that go like this.
Right.
That's a no-brainer. Now I don't trade guys. And I've regretted it since because I got one of my favorite figures of all time. I'm so happy. Monday I go in and I said, hey, how's that Stalker treating you? He goes, oh, good. I put it out in the street and had a car run over it. What? Why? Oh, I thought it was cool. Okay, but it was Stalker. Why would you treat your toys that way? Well,
right.
Fast forward a couple years ago, I'm at a local Bob's Discount Center place, and they had a Stalker. Yoink! I had to. I don't know. It luckily was cheap, but it wouldn't have mattered because it weighed on my soul. I felt so guilty for Stalker all these years. I'm like, you didn't deserve that, buddy. So when I saw the classified, I scooped him up. Anyway, 90s, you kind of occasionally you might see a neat version of somebody like the Duke in the red and gray camouflage. I'm like, that's not a bad version. Okay, I'm not going to get him, but all right, he's cool. But they were few and far between, so I stopped. And then for years, it's a nice memory. I love my Joes. That stuff never leaves you. It's part of who you are. And now I'm an adult. And if I was going to get a cool guy of anything, superhero or otherwise, it was going to be for my son.
Nice.
I'm going to live vicariously through him. However, then they come out with the classified line. And the first one they come out with is Snake Eyes, who I love. And I'm like, yeah, just because he looks cool doesn't mean I have to have him. Oh, wait, he's the 6-inch one. There's certain figures you dream of that you want all your life. I always wanted a good Indiana Jones figure. I always wanted, that good size because, and you guys can testify to this, the smaller G.I. Joes, as cool as they are still limited. Everything, their holsters are molded to them. It's their arms can only do so much. Their hands can only do so much. Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
You get into the classified line, you're a fool if you like G.I. Joe and you're not picking up some of those. There's a mid-crunch, the details there. You could swap out outfits. Blah, blah, blah. So I resisted. Again, 51. I resisted it for as long as I could. And I've always been a comic book reader. So I started to go back and get the Larry Hama volumes because there was a sale a few years ago. So I'm like, yep. Right before Image took over, right, with Skybound and everything. I was like, they're having a sale. I'm going to get those old ones that everybody always talked about that I always felt bad I didn't get. Because I didn't start really collecting comics till I was 15. And by then, you're so far into the line of G.I. Joe comics, you don't know where to begin. Maybe I'll get an occasional one, but I wasn't, like with everything else. All my other titles I've read since I'm 15 and keep going. So then I thought, you know what? That Snake Eyes is still on my mind. I found a He-Man 6-inch or so for $10, right? That's a good deal. All right, I'll get that. It'll be the one thing. Be the one thing I get. But while I'm at it, if I could find on eBay a decent Snake Eyes. Oh, they got a few by now. And they have the ninja one with the scarf that Stalker has too, right? The green.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And it's got the green military pants. Like, that's a good combination for Snake Eyes. He's got the visor that I like. All right, it doesn't come with Timber. I'll get him. It's cheap enough. I wonder if I could find a Duke. Well, the Dukes don't look so great. Because remember, the first classifieds of Duke, that first one, Flint, too, didn't quite look the way that they should because they were putting, like, metal on all the guys that weren't necessary.
Yeah.
That first round was rough. So I got the Tiger Force one that you could see behind me.
Mhm.
All right, there. It's an alternate. Maybe they'll come out with the good looking one. Well, sure enough, they did. Well, I got to pre-order that guy.
Yep.
Well, now I have quite a few. Not like the pile behind you, but I still have that part of me that goes, you're an adult, you have bills to pay, stop it. But the other part of me goes, yeah, but he's so cool. You gotta look at that guy, So
If you sell out, you're never gonna get it again. Buy that fucking thing.
And that's the other part. I just found that out. I never got Snow Job, who I've always wanted, because now it's too expensive. I kind of want Chuckles because I have the smaller version. The face sculpt isn't great, but I would still take a Chuckles because I like the plain clothes guys. But those are the two that I really learned. Oh, you better snatch them while you can get them. Yeah, see, there you go,
brother. You definitely make that move.
I'm saying if I ever find it cheap enough, I will. But they're too darn expensive now, so I check eBay. But from that, I've learned. I just got Sundown because he was another one. Like, I don't even know who that guy is. He's new, but
he looks awesome,
cool. And I've kind of been thinking about him for a month. There's still time to pre-order him. Well, I just got him 2 days ago.
Awesome.
I pre-ordered the new Duke that, the commando with the sweater and the vest and everything that they're coming out with. I pre-ordered Wild Bill, and I'm going to pre-order, which is a topic I would love to get into too, Lara Croft. I love that they are giving us more Sergeant Slaughter type extra, combining worlds under the G.I. Joe banner. Please keep that up. As a writer of MacGyver SG-1, the audio series, there's nothing I want more than a MacGyver G.I. Joe type of figure and a Jack O'Neill. I mean, come on, Hasbro. You can get the license, and I pray that they do. Let's make that happen. To have a MacGyver classified figure is a dream come true for me.
I mean, I feel like they could very much put just some fucking gear in there. I would be interested in it, because I think that's one of those ones that it would look cool. You give them the black leather jacket, you know what I mean, and make it look like you could use him as a civvy figure if you wanted to, like all that.
And that's the thing. MacGyver does have a black leather jacket, but he's known for either the blue flight jacket with the American flag typically on the one arm, or the brown bomber jacket. It's a very particular bomber jacket that is iconic. As long as you can fit a vest over that to, switch out, putting a vest on or anything else sort of gear, do it. Like it's easy enough to do. One of the guys that's part of our community does their own figures, right? Like actually, there's the one guy, he has a cigar and he's got like a military jacket on, but it's open. One of you guys, and I've commented on it because I'm like, I love it, and that's amazing. And boy, hey, Hasbro, that kind of looks like what you could do with a civvy wearing Jack O'Neill. It doesn't have to be the SG-1 outfit per se. You can do variations. But that's how I think he would look in his typical, Mark, I think, is it who I'm thinking of? Mark, is that maybe the handle?
Mark Potter?
Sure, maybe.
Yeah, it's okay. Probably great photographer. That's probably him.
Love it. So it gets me excited because I'm like, okay, for sure. Hasbro, give me my figures, please. You're doing Lara Croft. Yay. So I hope they keep doing that. Yeah,
for sure. Melted Copper says, what about Sam Beckett of Quantum Leap?
Yes.
With Sam. Yes.
Give me a Sam and an Al.
All day.
I don't know if you guys have listened, but one of my more recent episodes of the audio series, I have Sam leap into Daniel from Stargate.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's great.
I was going to break it up into 2 episodes, but I just did like one long story instead of. There was nowhere to split it in half to have it like on a. Usually I'll have the episodes be 2 or 3 parts and like end on a cliffhanger, so that way you're like, oh, I can't wait to hear what happens next, and you got to listen to the next one. But this one, I'm like, no, I'm just gonna keep going. This is good. There's nowhere to break it. and it's one story, all self-contained. But you got to know the mythologies of all the shows if you're going to touch them. Otherwise, you're just making nonsense.
We got some guys that are chomping at the bit to get into Stargate, but before we move on from the Joes, I just wanted to, and since we're talking about the classified figures, I just wanted to throw up a couple of your shots here. So there is the aforementioned Sundown with a couple, like honestly, Spirit and Tiger Force Outback are two of the best looking figures that they've made so far. Yeah. They're fucking phenomenal. Like that Tiger Force Outback head sculpt is ridiculous. My brother Matt from Moe's Mine has put that head on a Delta Monster Force Delta Red body, and it just looks amazing as like a commando. It looks really, really awesome.
Oh yeah.
I just finally shot that figure for the first time in a creek over from my house, and it looks so damn good. So what did you have any particular inspiration for this shot, or like were you?
Yeah. Okay. So what I try to do, I said this on Twitter, and I think you guys would agree. When you're a kid, right? It's enough. It's just enough to have your toys and go, shoo, shoo, I'm gonna get you, right? And that's fine, and that's how you play as a kid. Well, that never leaves you. However, as you mature and learn more details about how things work, to go pew pew isn't enough anymore.
Right.
You have to get into plot. You have to get to motivation. You don't want to just have them start in the middle of a fight, right? Again, if you're a comic book reader, Bendis, I always think, was great at. He would set up writing where even if somebody gave somebody a dirty look, you went, oh, nobody had to even throw a punch because he would set it up in such a way that everything mattered. So you can't play with your toys like you used to. But now that I have these figures, I want to pose them, and I want to, I have them on my shelf in my bedroom in certain ways, all looking in a certain direction. And I thought, yeah, but how do I share that? And I was sharing some of those pictures, but I thought, ooh, wait a minute. If I can make it look like a scenario in my head, I'm going to start doing that. So in this case, with this picture in particular, since I got Sundown, I see them in certain situations. The Trackers, those three, and now Sundown with Indiana Jones. I can see them being in the jungle or in the woods, or, like they're the guys who are comfortable alone in nature. You know what I mean? Outback, I've always loved because Outback was, I think, as close as in my head to the qualities of like MacGyver, MacGyver doesn't need anything. He's MacGyver. He's going to figure stuff out. Well, Outback is someone who doesn't need, he can be out in the woods and be happy as can be. And if you've ever watched the MacGyver episodes where he's in the woods, you're like, whoa, this is a special one because now he's definitely without things around him to pick from. He's got to use nature. He's got to use what's around him. So you knew you were in for something great. Not that you weren't always, but it's something special to put a person alone with nothing in the woods. Good luck to you, dude. Well, Outback is one of those guys who's like, great, that's where I'd rather be.
Right.
So you get these guys tracking. And if Sundown is a bounty hunter, well, why wouldn't he use these guys to be part of his team?
Absolutely. You got a good question from G.I. Jedi. Who is that peeking around the rock in the back?
That is, and I didn't put that there. That was the way I described it. That was the AI thing.
The ghost in the machine there.
No, if you see the wanted poster there, right, of who they're hunting for, to the right, it's that guy.
Right.
Just have him peek. So it makes it look like these four guys don't know what the heck they're doing if the guy's behind them. But I said that with my other picture I posted today. I'm like, this is a second away from them discovering their bounty. They're just about to find this guy. So that's what you're seeing. So I hope that answers the question.
We got one more. Hold on, I didn't put the right. There we go.
Oh, there's a fun one.
Yeah, I love this. This is a great shot. So I like this because it's not, you've got a bunch of great G.I. Joe shots. I just wanted to show maybe something that was a little different. This is great. So we got Daredevil, Bullseye, Batman, and a caped Robin. That's interesting. I like that.
That's Damian. That's Damian.
Damian Wayne.
Yep. Oh my God. Well, that shows how little I know. Oh my God. I never knew there was a Damian.
Yeah, they brought him along a few years ago and kind of pushed Tim Drake out of the way, which I hate because Tim Drake's like my favorite Robin. But now they have Batman have a son who, so that's with Talia. That's a whole, you guys, other guys know. I could tell you that, Mike, later on, but essentially Batman and Daredevil are my two favorite superheroes of all time. I love Daredevil since Marvel Team Up 123 when I got it for Spider-Man, but it was with Daredevil. And I'm like, I love this kid. I was a kid. I did, again, started really collecting when I was 15, but I was a kid. My aunt would take me to the corner store for penny candy. And once in a while, I'd look over, there's a Batman comic. Because I knew Super Friends Batman, who I always liked. But a comic with Batman in it, and what a great cover. Same thing with Spider-Man or Superman or whatever. And when I got that Daredevil comic, changed my world. Now everybody knows who Daredevil is. I said to my son, we're living in good times. You and I, my son's second word was Daredevil. First word was dad. Second one was Daredevil.
That's great.
And so I said, we're living in good times. We now live in a world where the world gets how great Daredevil is. For years, nobody knew. And so I finally got, if you see him, where is he? Behind me. I finally got a good Daredevil 6-inch figure.
Okay. Yep.
Any other time you found them, they were so expensive because they were so hard to find. They would come and go. So when this Secret Wars version was coming out, I'm like, I've learned pre-order. And I just got him a couple weeks ago. So I'm like, start taking pictures.
Awesome. Yeah, no, that's great. It's a great shot. I'm still shocked that there was a whole different Batman son. I didn't know. CG knew though. He spit it out immediately.
Oh yeah.
Right. G.I. Dave in the house. What is up, my brother? Thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. No sweat, brother. We're on an off day here anyway. And just a heads up for everybody, my show next week is going to be on Thursday. Because a week from tomorrow, your boy is going on vacation, the family vacation that we do every year. I travel closer to where you guys are. So I'm in upstate New York, Mac, and I'm headed down to Cape May, New Jersey. My wife's family has been renting the same house a block from the beach, this gorgeous Victorian house for, I know it's over 30 years. I think it's closer to 40 years now. My wife was like maybe 4 or 5 years old when she first started going there, I think. And so that's, I'm really looking forward to that. So I'm leaving first thing Saturday morning. So I wasn't going to do the show Friday night because I'm leaving so early. I got to get to bed early. So next Thursday is going to be the show. I've got a couple different things that are up in the air for what that's going to be. I'll let everybody know ASAP. But just a heads up on that. Fantastic shot, and make sure. So, are you posting all your photography is on the This Never Gets Old podcast page, right?
Okay. It depends. It depends on what handle you're going to go for. If you're going for the MacGyver podcast or the MacGyver SG1 audio series, I try to make sure that those are Stargate related because we're trying to save Stargate. As I saw, because basically 6 months ago, Amazon, who sat on the property forever, said, okay, you're finally getting a new Stargate show with the people that you already love and the creators that know what they're talking about. And then, a month ago, they went, never mind, we're not going to do it. And they yanked it. So now people are enraged because this is our last chance to get an in-universe connected show. Whereas if Amazon thinks they're just going to slap the name Stargate on some new show and reboot it.
Right.
Nobody wants that. You're going to kill it. You already had the audience that was hungry for it, but they said, it caters too much to the fans. Oh, I'm sorry.
Isn't that the whole point?
Right. Exactly. So what I do is, instead of just saying every day, hashtag save Stargate, hashtag, I try to come up with new figure art to have something new. So I might have them coming through the gate, or I have a Han Solo. So wouldn't it be cool if Han Solo they ran into Han Solo, all of that kind of fun stuff. It's wherever your imagination can take you.
Well, so since we're here, we're gonna get right into it. So my background with Stargate is I'm only familiar with the movie, but I think the movie is cool as shit. Believe it or not, I watched it maybe 2 days before I asked you if you wanted to be on the podcast. I opened up Amazon Prime and there it was, and I was like, oh, you know what? I haven't watched that in a while. And it's just very interesting, the beginning and everything, and it's the concept of the sun god being a gray alien underneath. That's right. They show that flash towards the end, and he's basically it was good. It was definitely cool. That was definitely cool.
Let me help you out because I'm glad you like it. I thought it was fine, but it serves as a pilot for a TV show. It kind of starts, you know what I mean? Like if you watch that, you go, yeah, it's fine. But now what's the next thing? Because originally it was supposed to be a trilogy movie. That was not going to be the TV show that everybody loves. It was going to be a trilogy movie with Roland Emmerich. I'm saying their name.
Devlin and Roland Emmerich.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, so they had it, and then they weren't doing anything. They did the one movie. 3 years later, MGM comes along and goes, we'd like to make a show. Well, what they did very wisely or coincidentally was they got a lot of the people who did MacGyver. Brad Wright was the showrunner, and he had the same mentality of the people who did MacGyver. And the things that made MacGyver great are the same things that make Stargate great, and it's not just Richard Dean Anderson. It's the fact that everybody from star, director, writer, all the way down to the craft services, they're all on the same page of what the goal is. And it's not about ego, and it was never about, me. They have a clear vision. And when everybody's on the same page, you make gold for years, and that's what makes all these shows iconic. So MGM buys the TV rights. They approach Richard Dean Anderson and say, would you like to be part of this? And he says, yeah, however, I'm not going to play it like Kurt Russell. Okay. So, Kurt Russell is a very cliche military cliche. He's straight, I have no sense of humor. I'm here to do the job, that kind of thing, which is fine. But Richard Dean Anderson said, I need to have some fun with this. So, and if you saw the movie, Jack O'Neill had lost his son who accidentally shot himself with his handgun. So the show takes place, remember how the movie ends? Daniel Jackson stays behind?
Yeah, yep. He pulls a Steeler from Worlds Without End and is just like, I'm going to stay with the hot chick.
Yeah. So this takes place 3 years later. They have Jack O'Neill's called out of retirement, and they say, thought you said you were done with that. Well, we just had bad guys come through and take some people. So that so it picks up where that movie, which again serves as a decent pilot, picks up. The gray alien thing you're talking about, forget. That's not what it is.
Okay.
That they discard with. That doesn't really work. So, but what I'm going to tell you, and I'm sure everybody can testify, jump in. Mike, it will change your world. This is a perfect show for at least 8 seasons. SG-1 it gave you everything. Anything you could want. It was funny. It wasn't stupid. It was well thought out. They would plant seeds and stuff that they would say in an episode that 2 seasons later you'd go, oh wow, they mentioned that in episode blah 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 blah. And so it pays off. It doesn't disappoint in any way, shape, or form. And you got Richard Dean Anderson, who ad-libbed all the time. So you had that spontaneity where the rest of the cast would go and then have to react because they're filming it. And they act real. I had Michael Shanks, who plays Daniel Jackson. He told me, oh, yeah, he would do, yeah, here's an example. And he told me a scene. He goes, when he says that, yeah, we never saw it coming. And if you look on YouTube, they have like outtakes of them, like him trying different lines. And sometimes the director goes, we can't use that one, Rick. Oh, okay. Why? It's a little dirty. All right. Sorry, But it's so, you get the military aspect, you get the human aspect, you get that found family, where you go, okay, I understand the dynamic between these characters, and you love everybody. It's a show that never gets nostalgic. It never feels old. There's a current energy that's always, just like with MacGyver. MacGyver never feels old. It feels like an inspirational character that you could always watch. And when you do catch it, you're like, oh, I feel like doing something good in the world. Well, Stargate carried that on. And then with the spin-offs, they had their own, spin-off feel to it. But it all was part of the same universe. And you can see why people are so less than thrilled that Amazon is ignoring the fans.
Hey, everybody, right?
Right. Honestly.
Where did the Stargate show originally air?
Well, it was on Showtime.
Originally. Oh, okay. So it was
first 5 seasons it was on Showtime, and then the 6th season it went to Sci-Fi, which made Sci-Fi Friday nights on Sci-Fi. Pardon me. Was pure, TGI Friday. Well, that was your TGI Friday because you had Stargate SG-1, Stargate Atlantis, and then Battlestar Galactica, which I was never a fan of until I saw the reboot. I went, oh, okay, those first 2 seasons are perfect. Okay. Imagine there's your Friday, and you were guaranteed every time you sat down to watch a Stargate SG-1, you went, I'm safe. I don't have to be nervous about what this show is going to do. It's not going to disappoint me. I'm going to feel deeper into the mythology, which reminds me, by the way, I wanted to tell you, and another compliment to all of you guys, the combination of now getting the classifieds, which I'm resistant to get the bad guys. I got Cobra Commander because I always had my son said, you've wanted Cobra Commander with the shiny helmet since 1983. Get him. I'm like, all right. So I did. But I technically try not to get the bad guys. If somebody like in my family got them as a gift, okay, I'll take them.
Right.
But for my own wallet, I can't get, who's the guy? Talon, the Falconer? Raptor. I want him. They made that. I had the smaller version, but that new version is amazing. So I would
forget it.
I would make an exception if I could find him cheap enough. But I don't get the bad guys. But the combination of the Energon Universe books, which are amazing, and I love the pace that they're going at. It's my favorite read at the moment. All of them. That, getting the classified figures, and you folks on Twitter being so wonderful to me, makes me feel like a kid. It makes me have that energy and lightheartedness that I had in 1983 when I was getting new toys.
Yeah.
I haven't felt that since then. I'm an adult. That doesn't happen, but you guys are giving me that. So thank you for being a third of that reasoning.
That's awesome. That's really good. I'm glad to hear it. So, I believe me, I can understand that thoroughly and completely. It's a lot of what, did it for me. Like how you said, like, I think the 3 3/4 looked highly detailed when we were kids, but now that we're older, our hands are bigger, our eyesight's not as good. The classified is what it hits with that, right? Yeah. Like just Like I'm just turning around real quick, and I just have. Here's 2 figures that I have.
Oh, I want.
Look,
yeah.
Just look at these fucking things. I mean, get out of here. Freaking beat it. Like,
and the fact that you could change them out, you could take off the vest. And
all kinds of shit. Right. And again, call sign Smash sent this in for the next raffle. Like this hit and run is insanely awesome.
Love him.
I actually real quick, I found in a these haven't been on the shelf, but I know the price of these has gone up, and I saw these in a Walmart today, and I didn't really want to spend the money, but I had to because they're like $40 plus a piece on eBay. I just got in the mail today. Boom, I got my Airtight. I cannot wait to open this. I loved Airtight as a kid. I loved him in the cartoon. I love his uniform. Looks to me, they crushed this. Look at the detail on his chest.
Oh yeah.
The little thing. I was hoping, man, I was supposed to come down here. I made a post this morning. I was like, yeah, I got one errand to do, and then I'm right downstairs in the studio.
Yep.
It did not work out that way. I did not get home until 12:30. The one errand turned into 4. But anyways, I've got time. I'm taking tomorrow and the next day off, so I'll be down here. And then boom, I finally got this. I can't wait. I saw. I don't know if you got anybody here is familiar with Jersey Maniac over on Instagram. I saw he had a post today where he talks about it, and the one thing that he said was that I didn't really hear anybody else say. Most people, like I originally thought the despoiler was going to be small, and there was a thing, and he was like, "It's too big." He's like, this is way bigger in scale to what we were when they were kids. The missiles used to fire when we were kids. He was like, they could have made it smaller. They could have made it cheaper. It's a waste of money. And look, I absolutely, number one, the figure, forget it. The figure is absolutely insane. Everything that
another head out of it too.
Right. Which is crazy. So I'm excited that it's a good question. I'm excited that I got it. Here's the thing though, is when I do my shots, I've like, as much as I loved, I have this crazy story about finding this when I was the Destro Despoiler when I was on vacation with my mom and my sister, and but I like, to me, the silver-headed Destro is the Destro, right? So this is great. It's, I will use it in some photography, especially, when I have all my Iron Grenadier bats and all my Iron Grenadier soldiers, and I'll have like the Iron Grenadier thing. Darklon's going to be there. In my headcanon, Darklon is an Iron Grenadier, but he actually runs Python Patrol. Because if you look at how he looks, it's like his own little army.
Sure. I love that.
Yeah, definitely. Orskizio says, Despoiler compared to the Claw, it's about as wide but thicker beyond belief. It is probably. I think if I put it up next to it, I tell you what, I will put it in there. I just missed a bunch of comments. Philmatic 365 He Holder says, why don't you get bad guys? They're always better. Destro, Megatron, etc.
Everybody says that. Somebody said that to me. One of you guys online was like, you got to get the bad guys. They're the best figures. They are. They're amazing. Even a Cobra Trooper, the Viper with the scarf and the detail that they did. I'm like, oh, you guys are killing me. Again, if it wasn't a matter of wallet, I would be scooping them up every single. I wouldn't argue with you. They are amazing figures. But again, I'm trying to have some self-control. So I'm hoping the hints to my family and friends are, when it's time to get me a gift, I do love G.I. Joes, and I don't have many bad guys. So nudge, wink, wink. Say no more. For sure. Absolutely. But yeah, so I'm ecstatic that I had got those. I got 2 Night Creepers, Dire Night Creepers that are coming, and I'm probably going to do some more crystal ball shots. And I just want to give a shout out to my cousin Justin, who has his company Closed Casket Activities. They do a lot of merch and pressing and music rights and stuff for a lot of metal bands that I absolutely love. So he hooked me up with the latest 100 Demons. This is the CD, which I love physical media. This is awesome. But this was such a nice gift. They only made 100 of these. These were real quick, I'll pull it out to show the difference. So I believe the one that everybody gets when they order it, it is a pretty basic looking record. And this one here yeah. So
cool.
It's really awesome. And it's, I do have a very, considering you see how I collect, which this is only a small portion. There's shit all the way. I'm 360 degrees ridiculous. I'm drowning in it. What I did with the records was I wanted to find rare ones only, right? Like I don't have just run of the mill records to stack. It's like I have stuff like this where they only made 100. My favorite band, Dillinger Escape Plan, pressed their breakout album Calculated Infinity, and they made one where it had the CD cover on the actual record, and they only made like 1,000 of them or something like that. And I wound up like stuff. That's the kind of shit I get. So my cousin was nice enough to hook me up with this. He also does this thing that I guess is huge in Japan. Metal music is huge in Japan, but they do this band on the record. I guess this thing right here is something special and new that they're doing. But yeah, shout out to my cousin Justin, man. That was incredibly thoughtful and generous, and I look forward to catching back with him again. Let's see here. GI Jedi says Hasbro can't win at this point. The hiss wasn't that big and badass back in the day. Oh, geez, I hate it when the StreamYard. That's one thing. It'll move the freaking comments on me, and I'm in the middle of reading it. The hiss wasn't that big and badass back in the day. Everyone loves it. The spoiler gets big and badass. People hate it. Well, I think the idea is the cost. With the hiss was a HasLab, and everybody knew what you were getting into there. They were HasLabbing it up. I think the problem with the despoiler is that people look at it and they say, well, I would have preferred to have it been a little bit better or a little bit closer to the original size and then paid $80 instead of 110 or something along that. And yeah, and also, brother, you got to remember, somebody is always going to complain. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. We do a pretty good job in the community of keeping it, but no, I hear what you're saying though, brother, for sure.
There's nothing wrong with criticism.
Yes.
Of constructive criticism, but if you're just outright it sucks and you're saying all that, that's not helpful to anything.
Right, 100%. I am trying something new here. I haven't had one of these yet, but I just picked it up. It's I don't know. I have a fast metabolism, so normally when my lens just got blown out. What happened there?
It's like Ghost.
Dude, that was weird. That definitely. Did you see that? My whole shit just went white. Mac, in case you're unfamiliar with the reference there, the first night I had the laptop and we were recording, right above my head, this bright light just came out of nowhere, and then it looked like it was floating back up this way behind me and went to like nothing, but then like this aura remained when I was waving my hand back and forth, and it looked like I was pushing water around. It was wild, to say the least. Like that whole night, I went so when the podcast was over, I went upstairs, I was eating something, and I remembered it, and I was like, that was fucking weird. And then like right when that happened, I heard a noise bang down here, and I was like, all right, this is great. But no, that's what happened. So at the end of that show, when we were backstage, this claw right here all of a sudden just started, like something back here fell over, and this just started shaking like that. I was like, yeah, that's fucking weird. So that's why when people were like, sure, if it was just the thing that happened here, I'd be like, maybe there was a tiny bit of moisture in the camera. There's a million things that could have happened like that, right? I mean, who the fuck knows? But then when that happened, then I was upstairs. Here's the thing. I've never had any other, weird shit happen here. I have 2 cats. So you hear shit get knocked over all day and night throughout the whole entire house. So,
yeah. Wow,
that tastes good. I wanted to try these. So when I go on vacation, because, I don't booze it up either. I will get me some. I got one of these too. If I actually enjoy this, that's a NA. And dude, it tastes delicious. And if I go to the barbecue, we're all hanging out, I'll drink a couple of those. It's perfect. The thing is so when you're drinking stuff to not get drunk, you'd be amazed at how picky you are at the taste. When you're drinking it to get drunk, you're just like, get in my gullet, But now, so this I would have detested this because it's got like a fruity flavor to it, sort of, kind of. When I was drinking, I would have been like, this is this is not for me. But no, it's definitely good. Chris from Sister the Arsenal says he's an angel. I have said many times that I don't know how to explain religion. I've spoken to Big Red a few times. He's very, very versed in his religion, and that, and I've always felt super close to something. I always felt like there was something. I have too many to list instances where I go, this is what happened. Here's what it wound up being. And this was like a miracle. It happened many, many times. I also told the story of one time I had gotten a money blessing from a famous rabbi, and he was like, you'll never like win the lottery. He's like, but you'll never be without. And
good enough.
Through the years of having my own business, bro, there's been times where I'm like, oh shit, I don't have anything planned next week. Or oh man, well, I got to do it. Or like things would just the phone would ring, things would happen. And after a while I was like, man, maybe that weird dude was right. Maybe he did do something. I don't know what the hell it is, but yeah, no, I've always I always had to say that there's something going on there. I don't know what the fuck it is, but and there it was manifesting itself.
Talking about your collection, my friend Scott Tipton, he's a writer. He writes the Star Trek comics.
Okay.
And he'll co-host with me on the Never Gets Old podcast.
Nice.
You want to see a guy who never says no to any whim he has. I mean, he has, pick a toy, I guarantee he has it.
Nice.
Awesome. We're talking, and he's got like the Mego size figures of Star Trek and Doctor Who, and
like
on this side he's got exactly
1/12 scale.
Got everything. He's like, look, he's showing me. He sent me text yesterday and say, all right, I'm doing all the lineups of the Avengers with my 6-inch guys.
Okay.
So here's this team, and then swap out that guy, put this guy in. Now here's that team from that issue and from this issue, and it's adorable. But I'm like, man, you clearly don't have children because you got some disposable income that you're able to just. Because at times I'm envious at what he'll find and is willing to spend money on. He also lives in California, so he'll go to like Disney to go to like the Star Wars thing or the Avengers, campus. I'm like, you lucky son of a bitch. He's like, look what I got. It's an exclusive. I'm like, you're killing me. You're absolutely killing me. But again, if you're able to afford it and it makes you happy, okay.
That's it. Spend what you can because you can't take it with you.
So where the heck do you store it? I switched over to comics digitally 5 years ago, maybe, because imagine going every week, getting a stack of comics like this every week since you're 15.
Right.
That adds up. I'm still sorting through them and selling certain things on eBay, but I'll sell a box for like $30. And
nice. Okay.
Just to go here, look, here's a couple hundred comics. Take them, love them, I hope. And that way they're out of my attic.
That's cool.
Because it's just, you only have so much room, right? And then plus, Mike, you read comics, don't you?
I did much more when I was a kid, but I have recently been gifted some comics from my brother Conrad and my brother Evan. And Stevie Z sent me a drive with both the compendiums. I've circled back.
Well, if you ever want advice on some good reads, I'm here for you. But what I did was for myself was I got the digital comicology stuff because before I'd have to read that pile. It doesn't matter if I enjoy them. I have to read them because next Wednesday is coming with the next pile. Right. Now I can just get them and then read 10 issues of one title, be done, move on to G.I. Joe. Okay, read that story. That kind of back and forth. It's much easier and it saves storage.
Okay. That's what's up. I love it. So how long have you been, because I want to get into talking about the G.I. Joe movie in a minute. What got you into podcasting? When did that hit? When did all that take?
Long time ago. Back when podcasting was first a thing, there were a couple that I would listen to. I'd listen to the Dana Gould Hour, which I love. And it's always as soon as a new one comes out, it's the first thing I listen to.
Oh, no shit. What's that now? The Dana Gould?
Dana Gould is a stand-up comic and writer. He used to write for The Simpsons. You'd know him if you saw him. He's been on Seinfeld, lots of stuff. But he's great. He'll do it like a 3-hour podcast with 2 guests, and in the middle, he'll do True Tales from Weirdsville, which is like here's a weird thing you didn't know kind of stuff. If I remember, I'll send you the link.
Okay.
But basically, he talks with people about things that I may not care about, but the way they talk about it, I do. I do. You know what I mean? Like he'll talk about Plan 9 from Outer Space, the Ed Wood movie that is known as the worst movie of all time.
Oh yeah.
But he's got such a passion for it, or Planet of the Apes, or whatever this topic is. I'm like, you know what? I'm enjoying this, and I think I will check that out because he talks about it. Well, then I remember listening to Tom Wilson, Biff from Back to the Future? He used to have a podcast, and I love that too. And I thought, I kind of want to promote the things I love, music, toys, TV, pop culture stuff. See how we're doing this?
Yeah.
I want to do that, but I don't want to lock into one topic. I want to be able to talk about music or talk about whatever the case may be.
Yep.
So I thought about it, and then I was on the MacGyver online forum, and somebody was like, I want to do a MacGyver podcast, but I don't know anything. I'm like, I'm here. I know the stuff. So we team up, and I thought he was going to have all the equipment, and I would come on like I'm on here with you. And boy, wouldn't this be fun, and I could fill in with the knowledge.
Right.
We did the first episode, did a couple episodes, and he didn't have the setup for it. You got to remember, it was also early in podcasting.
Right.
Long
So it was expensive. You go back 10 years, microphones and shit like that were not. You could go on Amazon and buy. I just bought one the other day, a microphone that plugs into my phone. There's two of them. You could set it up in different ways. It was $21. It was crazy. I actually went to return it, and Amazon was like, they were like, "Are you sure you want to return this?" And I was like, "Yes, I do." And they were like, "All right, click here, and we're gonna refund your money, but you get to keep it." And I was like, "So shit, that's how little they paid for it." Right. Shipping it back was going to cost more, so they were like, "Just fucking keep it." Right. You charged me $21 for this. How little did you pay? Like, holy fuck.
So, we start doing a couple episodes, but then after a while, I'm like, "Let's do an episode." Oh, I can't. I got to sneak into my grandmother's house to get the such and such and do the thing. I'm like, "You're killing me, dude." So he got into extreme frisbee or something and wanted to go do it. I said, all right, well, then I guess you're not doing this anymore. Like, nobody sticks to anything. And for me, once I get going, well, I can't stop. I'm always going to collect comics. I'm always going to write. I'm always going to do podcasts. It's like, oh, are you done breathing now? No, I'm not done breathing. Right. So I took it over. He went away. It became mine. Now I start to make connections with actors, writers, producers, directors from MacGyver and Stargate and that. Well, they come on as a guest. We become friends. And then another buddy of mine at the comic book store, coincidentally, said to me, I like your podcast, but I think I kind of want to do one that's more pop culture. Okay, I'll do it with you. Well, we started. He doesn't stick to it. He falls off. Now I'm stuck with two podcasts that are it wasn't even my idea. But
right.
You know what you're doing. I get to brag about this stuff that I love, that hopefully other people love, and we can put good to the world and meet great people. So that's one thing led to another. Next thing you know, I have those two things, and then the audio series came about. Couple things, and I think you guys will relate to this. Shows that you love, and when they go away, you want more.
Yes.
Okay. Yep. You can fill in that blank 100 times over, I'm sure, with all the shows. Well, Richard Dean Anderson has been a major influence in my life and a good role model, and plus, doing the great characters and all. But as a person, what you see on the show is what you get. He's that sweet and that kind and that good. And I was already doing the podcast to brag about that kind of stuff. But I want more Stargate. And I want more MacGyver. And you know what? When I'm watching Stargate or watching any show, just, the photos that you were showing where I was combining characters?
Right.
That's how my mind works. I'm like, you know what? I can see Quantum Leap crossing over with Stargate. I can see, how would I get MacGyver? What if MacGyver and Jack O'Neill were brothers, but they didn't know about each other? Because some people would write fanfic where it's the same guy, but that doesn't work because MacGyver will never touch a gun. unless he's using it as a tool. He's never going to fire a gun at somebody. Jack
Right.
O'Neill is an Air Force colonel. He's going to shoot some guns.
Right.
There's no way that you can make that work. But golly, I think I could figure out a way to make them brothers. Yeah. Oh, man. So wait a minute. I can pick up after MacGyver ended. I can fill in between the episodes of Stargate. And depending on the story, I can have things happen right now with the two of them. And then as I'm writing them, in this episode, they have to deal with like a forensic person. CSI. I've always thought CSI could cross over with this. I love Gil Grissom. So now I've released 2 episodes of a 3-parter where Jack and MacGyver end up in Vegas following a lead and get arrested because they come upon a body and the cops show up and go, "You're found with the body. You're under arrest." Well, through that, they meet Gil Grissom. Gil Grissom is a man of science. He and MacGyver hit it off. I mean, I'm like,
right.
Remember the show Dead Zone? With
Yes.
Michael Anthony Hall? I did an episode with that because it made sense to have them find out about Johnny Smith from the Dead Zone.
Oh, shit. I do remember that.
So I did a crossover with one episode with that. And it's the thing is,
right?
Yep, that's it.
Yeah. No, that strikes a chord.
And so like it's not a matter of I'm going to force a plot because I want to have this crossover. It's more of I can hear the characters talking as I start writing. Even though I think I'm going from point A to point B, they have other plans. So they may get to point B, but because of how they talk to each other, and the way I know these characters, they kind of lead the way, not to sound, I don't know, weird about it. But as a writer, if you know a character so well, you can't do certain things, and other things make very much sense. So they kind of dictate where it goes. And if it was a show that I already thought would cross over, I'm like, there it is. There's my way in.
That's cool.
It's a lot of fun. That way I'm hopefully entertaining. I have 23 episodes so far of the audio series that you can watch on YouTube. If you go to my YouTube page, please subscribe, everybody, for the love of God. That helps a great deal. It's Mac Jackson, or you can just type in the Forever Adventure Network or any of the shows I talked about. You will find them. And you'll appreciate this, Mike. I'm using my AI pictures.
Okay.
Who, as you listen to the last couple episodes, starting with the Quantum Leap crossover, little pictures to fill in the scene. So that way you have something.
Okay.
So that way you're not just sitting there going, okay, you can actually watch it on the screen.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
very interesting.
Go to the Forever Adventure Network, everybody. That's my hub for all of this. If you wanted to follow any of them, I have a hub, but I also have that YouTube page. And if you hit subscribe, you'll be alerted for all the goodness. Oh, and at the hub too, can I say, besides having links to the MacGyver podcast, the Never Gets Old podcast, the MacGyver SG1 audio series, the music of Harmony Constant, I have a blog that I do. I just reposted the G.I. Joe one I was talking about. I don't know if you read it yet. And we have a store. So if there's ever like a neat art to slap on a T-shirt or a hat, it's there. It's a fun store, and I get a little something if somebody buys from it. They don't give you the money. Somebody could spend $5 on something, you'll get 10 cents. But you know what? It's at least there for people.
Nice.
Right?
Love it. Yeah, agreed. No, for sure. Melted Copper says, you think today was the 4th of July in my neighborhood? How many bombs did every? So listen, I literally was just hearing a bunch of shit. So I'm in this corner of the basement, and there's a window that's right here. And I was just hearing, I don't know if you could see my face, but I was like, what the fuck is going on out there? Completely forgetting that there's definitely almost certainly somebody out there lighting off fucking fireworks. Yeah, that's crazy.
We have hillbillies in our neighborhood that start like last week.
It's the whole week.
Today's Friday. They started on Monday, and it's not about the color and the majesty. It's about I'm gonna blow something up, and boom, you blew up a quarter stick. You're great. Thank you.
I am a fan, but in an appropriate way. Actually, so I promised I was going to tell a fun 4th of July story. So I'm gonna drop that right now. Now is the time. So when I was, believe me, I have a few of these, but this one is just digestible. It's reasonably quick. So I have an uncle who just recently passed. Actually, it's the father of my cousin that I was just showing this off. Now, this is my Uncle Ned. He was a great dude. I grew up. He was married to my dad's sister, right? And he was awesome all through life. There's a really funny story that I can't tell, unfortunately, that's separate about the guy, just out of respect for privacy. But he's fantastic. I loved him to death. R.I.P. So, anyways, I was probably 23, 24 years old. My parents have a 260-year-old farmhouse on a dead end road, but it's not like that. You can see the other houses. They're kind of right there. They're all on one side. It's a golf course on the other. So my sister Amanda had a boyfriend at the time where he went and he would go nuts on the 4th of July. He had a literal 2 pallets full of shit, right? My dad used to get these pallets from his irrigation warehouse and burn them instead of having to pay for them to get taken away. And so we had set out, you had 2 pallets of fireworks jam-packed, and then we were lighting them off over these stone pavers. So this is at my parents' house. We were doing a whole 4th of July thing. I want to say this might have been on the year where the 4th of July fell on a Saturday as well, which I don't know. I can remember back when I was a party animal, when something like that happened, you took it as a way to go extra fucking nuts. Dude, it's a 4th of July. It's on a Saturday. And God forbid if it was America's 250th. Holy shit. God, you know what? It might have been the 225th. I would have been 22, 23 years old. Anyways, I remember we were really going all out more than we ever did during the year. My parents had just bought that house maybe 3 years before that. So my dad is very much about my yard, my freedom. And so we had all these fireworks. My Uncle Ned rolls up and he's like, he had like maybe 2 packages of the regular fireworks, right? Where you go now, you buy the one thing. It's got 6 different things in there or whatever. He came with 2 packages of those. But then he had this sheetrock bucket. And I was like, oh, what the fuck's in there? And he was like, this is the one. And he pulls out a homemade tube to shoot it out of. Is this huge steel pipe where he welded a base plate on the bottom. He's like, oh, it will blow out. He says, this is a real mortar. And I was like, okay, I've never seen a big giant firework up close, ones they would shoot off at an event, if you went somewhere or whatever. And I'd never seen one of these before. So I was like, oh, okay. That's what they look like. Okay, awesome. So we light off a few fireworks. It's not even dark yet. It's starting to get dark. But again, we got a ton of shit. So we're lighting a few things off. Cops show up. Somebody up the road had called the police. And we're like, they're like, guys, sorry, we know it's 4th of July, but you're definitely not supposed to be doing this. And somebody called and he was like, I see you got a bunch of stuff back there. He's like, please don't make me come back. I don't want to confiscate your fireworks, which was just insane. Sure. We weren't how some people can get carried away, right? We were not carried away. And it was only 8 o'clock. It wasn't even fully dark yet. That's why we started lighting them off early. So we weren't lighting them off wicked late. Right. So anyways, trying to be respectful. So anyways, it gets to the point where we waited maybe 25 minutes and we were like, all right, here's what we can do. We can maybe try to light another one off or something. But what we should do is just wait until it's fully dark. And then we're just going to light off everything as quick as we can, more or less. Right. And then if they come back and they're like, what are they going to do? Their fireworks are gone. So we wait. We're like, my dad's like, fuck it. He lights off one and another one. And we're like, if they come back, they come back. What are we going to do? Right. We're not just going to, if they really tell us that's it, can't do it. So we light off a few. We knew what guy it was that probably called too. He had a problem with everybody up on the street. If you didn't take your garbage cans in by like noon that day, he would call code enforcement and say like, "Oh, they left their cans in the street again." Like the guy, and they didn't even respond to him anymore normally. But the police, it's an incendiary device. It's a little different. Anyways, so we fire off a bunch of shit. Finally, my Uncle Ned is like, "Are you guys ready for the real deal?" And was like, "You're going to light off that fucking crazy homemade thing you got going on over there?" He's like, "All right." I helped him weigh down the tube because it had a big flange on the bottom. So we were I think I had like sandbags, something else. We get it straight, want to make sure it's straight, going up straight in the air, gets it. So basically he had to light it and drop it in there like a mortar, like a real mortar. Anyway, so he waits what to me was an eternity too long while watching it light. Like he wanted to make sure it was lit. It was clearly lit. And then it was like 1,000, 2, 1,000. And then on 3, he finally dropped it down and it fucking boom goes flying up in the air. And we're standing there, we're waiting. And just as I started to say, I think it's a dud, I didn't even get to dud. It exploded like 5 feet above everybody's head. And it was one of the loudest, dude, I've had guns going off near my face. It was the loudest, craziest thing I've ever experienced in my entire life. And 75% of the people that were there left because they were like, what the fuck? And justifiably so. I mean, dude, this was not like, it like wasn't a firework. It lit like it was bright and stuff, but it was almost like a true legitimate incendiary device. It did not seem like it wasn't big sparkles or anything like that. I don't know where Homeboy got that from. And I absolutely love him to death because it's I have this story. I wish you could try to understand, like, this is like my family's not a bunch of, well, I mean, my dad's crazy and maybe some of his brothers are, but it's just like a normal family event. There's kids around, aunts, uncles, everybody's sitting there. They have like seltzers, and they're like just wanting to watch a little bit of fireworks. And dude, that freaking thing exploded. I'm not kidding. It was like, I feel like I could have jumped up and smacked it. That's how close it was, like over the top of my head. And there was 30 people there. And yeah, I would say 25. Everybody that didn't live there, like basically left. And they were like, what the fuck is that? So I don't know if like, I don't know enough, I guess, about how you make a firework to say, how you time when it goes off, right? You light it, and when the first part goes off, that gets it in the air. However it works that the second part goes off, when it's way up there, just, I don't know, man. But that shit, that was absolutely crazy. I do know somebody that had a M80 go off in their hand and their face. That was bad, but that's not even funny. So I wasn't going to tell that story.
No, well, funny you mention that. When I was going back, 20 years now. When I was a kid, I took, Tang Soo Do martial arts, because everywhere there's a Korean karate place on every corner. It's the quickest, easiest, it's everywhere. If somebody goes, oh, I went and took karate. Okay, well, that's very broad. What style was it? Well, a lot of the ones that you'll find across the country are Korean karates. And that teaches you the chamber punching embedded in it. So, okay, did that as a kid. And then the teacher wouldn't allow us to ask questions. You're not a black belt yet, so you don't get to ask questions. So I was like, bye. And always thought about it. I'd like to study a good style. Well, in not our neighborhood, but nearby was a place that taught American Kempo. Well, I learned about American Kempo and thought, ooh, this is good. This is the stuff. This is not the like the Chinese martial arts, very broad and wide with the arms, and not my style. I wanted something more tight, like, and Kempo is like the principles are based off boxing. So I thought, all right, I'll go into this place and see if this guy is, one, legitimate, two, someone I can respect as a teacher, because the last guy ended up actually being our mayor and then got arrested for, well, not doing good things. And he's, I think, currently in jail. But anywho, I walk into this place and I'm talking to the owner, and he became a friend of mine. But his son, the first story he tells me, he goes, "This is my son," and the son comes up and he's missing fingers on both hands.
Oh.
And what happened was, kids don't pay attention. They don't listen when they're told. Well, he unwisely had a quarter stick. He was waiting for the 4th of July to blow up, put it on top of his fridge, forgot about it because it's on top of the fridge, and everything that we put on top of our fridges we don't think about, right? Well, the son remembered that there was something up there that was very candle-like. He was a teenager, and they were going to put a candle in a cake. So he goes in, lights it as he comes walking in, goes, "Dad, I found a can." Boom! Blew up both of his hands.
Oh, my God. He lost all digits?
Mostly. I mean,
just obliterated.
Both hands. So he still had to learn. His father still taught him Kempo, but and coincidentally, that happened like a week before I walked into the dojo to introduce myself. So that was on his mind, And then a year later, I sold him my Cadillac. I'm sorry, it wasn't even a year later. It was a couple months later because the deal was, I'll buy your Cadillac. In exchange, I'll take you to black belt. You don't have to pay for a class for the rest of your life. I will take you from belt to black belt, which we did the math. We're like, yeah, we're kind of working out on this. And a week after I gave him the car, a boulder came off a mountain and he drove into it. And he and his wife were messed up. Like the wife lost all her teeth. He came in with a black nose, the black and blue eyes. It was bad. I'm like, "What'd you do to my car?" He goes, "Hey." He couldn't see it. "Hey." Why would you say that? But yeah, I mean, the guy, not the best luck in the world,
That is fun. Well, I mean, hey, at least it's all I can say is freedom, right?
Well, he goes, "You know what? Thank God I did take that car from you, because if I was driving any of my other cars and drove into that boulder, I would have been dead."
Right. Oh my God.
It was a Cadillac. It was a nice red Cadillac. And I'm like, "Oh, I'm glad it saved your life."
Nice.
I still have the newspaper article where it's on the front page, big picture of the car smashed. I'm like,
oh no, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we're gonna slide on. So I feel like there's always more to talk about in your journey, but I felt like we've got a better idea of who you are, and so now everybody in the chat, when we're interacting with you, I feel like we have a more broader view, right? We can appreciate the things you're putting out there more because we know you a little more. So we'll have you back on again. We'll circle back. We'll get through some more stuff. But I definitely wanted to talk about the interview that our brother, because he's our brother now, right? It's this is what it is. This is now, number one. I have always said, whenever we've talked about this, I'm obviously in the back of my mind incredibly skeptical, right? Sure. We have zero evidence that they're going to make a good G.I. Joe movie, right? Mm-hmm. Like even the fucking one from 87 when we were kids, they still had to fuck it up with Cobra La and shit at the end. Now, I will say the entrance song and the first 15 minutes of that movie are as good as anything I've ever seen that's real life, cartoons or otherwise. It's amazing. That shot where the stuns roll through the water and Pythona is in the thing, and they show the Terradrome and the trouble bubbles come out and they fly around and the lights are going all over the place. Bro, it's cinematic brilliance. It's, Martin Scorsese, who? This is what I'm talking about when it comes to good shit. But anyways, the Retaliation, Rise of Cobra, the Snake Eyes movies, I can put them on and watch them and fall asleep to it or something because it's good action movies. But dude, I mean, G.I. Joe is how hard is it to make it? It's just, I feel like you have to have somebody who knows what they're doing, that's show running, and then you have to have the people with the money doing what that guy says, right? Like, I think that's the core. Like a good NFL team, they talk about like coach, quarterback, general manager. That's the key to a good team. If you got those three, you're good. You're going to do great. This is what we're talking about here. So, yeah, Cal says zero. Yeah, and he also agrees. Yes, 1987 movie is peak cinema. Listen, when I hear that entrance song, that vroom, 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 I can feel the hair on my neck fucking stand up.
The balloons.
Yes, the balloons. So I have one of my closest friends growing up, my brother Todd, is in this amazing metal band called Baylor. And I had mentioned to him, I was like, dude, I would love it if you guys would do like a metal cover of the beginning of that movie, but do it in a way that's like, just use like the notes, right? Let's make it sound like a metal. We're not trying to make it sound like the movie. We're trying to make the metal song. You know, I don't know if I'm making sense here, but like, we're not trying to recreate.
You want Cold Slytherin is what you're saying.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Perfect. And I said, or even if you guys allow me to use a section of your music for the entrance music to the podcast. And he was like, no, we could probably do it. And then like, because I also can sing some metal and scream and the whole thing, I was like, we could do the double layered vocals on the Cobra, and how it goes way up. I can get high. Anyways, hopefully that winds up working out. But yeah, the G.I. Joe movie is pure cinema. Thank you, Cal. So here we are now, though, right? Even though all these other attempts, you know, are in essence, I mean, again, I can watch The Rise of Cobra and be like, enjoy, but I'm not enjoying it as G.I. Joe. I'm enjoying it just because it's a good action flick. And even with this healthy dose of skepticism, I really couldn't help. But after having broke down this quick little, what is it, like a minute and a half of questions, I couldn't help but go, okay, these answers are all perfect. Now, does that translate to a good movie? No. So much has to happen. They haven't started filming yet. But if these are the questions that are being asked, and this is what it is, I have to say, you know, we're gonna go line for line here. But CG, did you see like the whole interview? Did you see that clip?
I did watch the clip. He says all the right stuff. That's, you know, and he's obviously a fan. He's read the comics. Because he brought up Springfield, so he knows,
right.
You know, certain things. His track record for writing movies, though, for me, he's not good.
This is a great point.
Halloween Ends, Kills, The Exorcist Believer. He did some touch-up work for Alien Covenant. They're not good movies. Maybe he's not good with horror and sci-fi horror.
Right.
So, you know, I mean,
I thought Alien Covenant was, I don't know if I'd say it's like good. It's okay. There's a lot of it I did like, but no. I guess when I think about it, it's I would need more. You know what I mean? Interesting. So, you know, it's the cool part is that, like they said, it's already written, right? So how much, you know, if they've gotten that far, and it's actually written, and he's talking about it openly in interviews and stuff, I feel like that's a really good sign. You know, and of course, when you're, even if this is not him just like all of a sudden mentioning it, this is like, you know, this is a promotional thing that he's doing with it. And of course he's going to say, oh, I'm fired up, you know, Paramount's fired up. But you know, I did enjoy hearing him say something like, you know, that he's like, you know, I've got people lining up to get into it. I mean, again, can you, how seriously can you take, you know, somebody saying something like this? You know, all you have is what they're saying, you know what I mean? But when he says, like you said, CG's, you know, saying all the right things, and I find that I just want to be hopeful. You know what I mean? I'm trying to manifest it a little bit, right? Let's manifest a good movie.
Well, one of the things that he did say was, and I think he actually would be good at this one, when he said he wrote a Dreadnoks movie.
Well, this is
presented it, and I'm like, that is his cup of tea, because he could go batshit crazy, funny. Like, he knows comedy. Because I mean, if I don't know if you ever watched what is it, Eastbound and Down or whatever.
Oh God, it's fucking
hilarious.
It's
so
hysterical.
Give him a Dreadnoks movie, and I think we'd have like a fun time. Like almost like it would just be like crazy humor. You could. To me, the Dreadnoks are funny.
Right.
So I would do a fun movie with them. I think you should do that. Start that off. Hey, nobody knew who Iron Man was when the MCU started in 2007. Right. The comic book fans, the normal people didn't know. Start a G.I. Joe movie like that. Not like Snake Eyes, but
right. All
of the Dreadnoks, and then build up on that.
So here is what kind of. All right, so I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but since you brought that up, so he pitched a Dreadnoks movie. Now that means that without somebody going to him and saying, "Hey, would you like to make this G.I. Joe movie?" He was sitting home on his own volition writing a Dreadnoks movie. I think that speaks to how much of a fan he is. Now,
right.
maybe there is something where he's all. It's also it's all now. Just maybe the Dreadnoks always stuck out to him, and for the same reasons that you were just mentioning, CG. Maybe that's why he was like, "Oh, hey, I think maybe this would be good for me to do because these Dreadnoks are crazy and they're wild and all this other shit." But I feel like if he's back there writing it on his own fucking volition, I don't know, man. It makes me hopeful for his actual fandom, and that he is off on that right spot. But what also got skipped over initially in that thought for me was, I then kind of said, well, if Paramount was like, hey, we love the idea of the Dreadnought movie, but in order to do the Dreadnought movie, we have to establish G.I. Joe proper, I believe is how he put it. So then that I tried to take that also as a positive, that the studio is like, oh, well, let's not do okay, he can make a Dreadnought movie, blah, blah, but it's not going to stick as much as if we come out with a regular movie first. And I don't know. I think that speaks to who he is, and also that, that like what he wants out of it. And that, man, I just really do hope that it makes him, it means what I think it does. Hold on, I got another little picture here. So he says when he talks about being young, right? And he was like, G.I. Joe is my thing. I liked it more than Star Wars, more than this. It sounded a lot like it does when you hear us talking about Joes, right? Is that, oh, this was the number one. Everybody else was fighting for that distant second, right? And again, just hopefully that makes it speak to what kind of a fan he is. When asked about what is in essence source material, he immediately says the cartoon, the comics, right?
Yep.
That's perfect. Now, would I like to hear him say, tell me more what you know about the cartoon, right? Now, with that being said, I feel like they'd be better served leaning on the comics for that, you know what I mean? But saying that, we're paying homage to and including the whatchamacallit, to the cartoon too, blending that in, also felt that was super encouraging. He still has his collection. He said that his daughter plays with Gung Ho and Snake Eyes. Now, Snake Eyes is the most popular one for sure. But I thought, like, if he's got a Gung Ho toy still from when he was a kid, he's writing about he wants the source material as comics, cartoons. Again, it's like, is he just saying the right things, or does this mean we're getting something good? And I think that, God, I think that's very good. Now, when he also speaks to working with the Gemstones guys, I think that's good, right? I feel like that, again, what are they in terms of fans? I'm not sure. But I do believe that there's something to how good, the writing is actually going to be. And now, of course, almost, there's probably two the two biggest concerns would be what's the fucking story and who the fuck are you having play the people, right? Those are, I mean, that's probably every movie, but I just feel like in this particular instance, it's super important. And so, so to introduce Cobra, I mean, listen, when I think to introduce G.I. Joe as a whole, I do think that it would be very cool to have a movie that winds up, it's like 6 different locations, right? There's the Joe base, the Cobra base, but then they're fighting in the Arctic, they're fighting in the jungle, they're fighting in the desert, they're fighting in the forest, or they're fighting underwater. That's what the cartoon was like in that sense, right? That this was a global organization, it was a global terrorist unit that's being fought by G.I. Joe, right? And they are, because that, if you remember the cartoon, like the mass device, they were in all 4 corners
all over the world, yeah.
Right. So I do think that that's something that I feel like, not to say that this it's not going to be that, right? But when he asked and said, what's the story? Like, what is it about? Again, he started with something that we would all want to hear, and that's Duke. It's a story about Duke and his crew. Now, but to me, what I heard is, Duke's the leader, and it's all the rest of these guys. Like he did. I don't remember the exact wording, but he does speak to the fact that it's a whole ensemble, right? So that's what he said about, like, when the dude was like, oh, and who's in it? And he was like, it's a whole ensemble. Followed up by saying we have people lining up to try to get into this. Now that fact does, that doesn't matter as much. Sure, are they all Joe fans? It's none of that means anything until we see, because if we know anything about money and greed and Hollywood and focus groups and the shit that routinely fucks up all the good stuff that we want, it could very easily still happen, no matter how much all of this shit is being put in place. But when he's like, no, wanted to write the G.I. Joe movie, but basically, we had to crown G.I. Joe proper, and like, it's definitely all the right things. And so I came away from it choosing to say, okay, granted, we have zero evidence, but they're saying all the right things. Now, if this is like, he beat me up again, but he said it's going to be different next time. If it sounds a little like that, then sure, I get it. But I'm I just feel like that it's these are all good things, and hopefully maybe that works out. I came away feeling very hopeful because I heard it. Our brother Conrad had posted the portion of it, and then and I didn't get to hear the whole thing. I was and then today in prep for the show, I went back. I listened to it 2 times in a row, made notes, the whole thing, and so I'm choosing to be hopeful that we are on the right track, and there's obviously a whole lot that can go wrong, from casting to what the story actually means. Yeah, because he says the story revolves around Duke and his crew, and then that's when he says to the other guy in the interview, he's like, do you know the comics and stuff? Do you know Springfield? And as we see here, which is an amazing. This is one of the ones I actually had as a kid. I think I might even still have it somewhere at my mom's. I have to go through those boxes.
I just read that one recently, actually, because I got the volumes.
Okay.
I happened to read. I'm reading them for the first time, starting with issue number 1. And it's funny that you have that picture pop up. I'm like, hey, I'm pretty familiar with that now.
Right. Nice. That's awesome. Well,
one of the things that I hope that because he said his influences are the cartoon and the comic. My hope, and we talked about this last year when you first started the podcast, take the insane Cobra plot from the cartoons, but keep that realism from the comics.
Right.
And that more mature themes of the comics. And blend them, you got it good. I think that would make a great, and keep it in the 80s, 1985, 86, keep it in that time. That way we can have, the Sky Strikers of the F-14s and the, A-10s are still in the, in the style.
Right.
But you know what I mean? Like that 80s technology, but with like a little twist because they had flat screen TVs. They had, there was watches with a TV and stuff. So there was some futuristic stuff. No lasers, unless it's Flash or sci-fi.
Right.
Do that, and I think you have it good. My thing is like, story. Actors are fine. Pick the right actor for the role. Stay true to the characters. And I for would like to see screen accurate uniforms. Not this black leather that Rise of Cobra had. Retaliation was good with some of them. Like Cobra Commander looked great, Firefly looked great, Storm Shadow, Snake Eyes. But I want to see, Duke in his tan shirt and, green pants and, Flint in his beret and all that. I want to see that stuff. Like what I grew up playing with, watching and reading. Hopefully we get that, I mean, I don't know. I'm skeptical. Like I said,
it's hard not to
write horror. He can't write horror, and that's just that's horror's my bread and butter. So
I felt like you're uniquely qualified to speak to that because those are the only things that seem to be applicable to a G.I. Joe movie in a sense of a comparison, right? You can't compare any like again, Eastbound and Down, brilliant. Like I don't know if there's a show I've ever like the only thing I probably ever laughed at harder is the early South Park shit, right? Like that shit, that fucking Eastbound and Down is absolutely hysterical. So if you actually, side note, if you want a good laugh, you can find clips on YouTube that are like outtakes of them filming that show. So it's Danny McBride with like somebody else doing something that's making him laugh. There's like a lot of it apparently, and it's very, very good. That shit makes me laugh big time. But you're right, CG. We did talk at a pretty good amount of length about it too. What we thought would look good as a GI Joe, and I think you had said that it would probably honestly be best served as like a couple different television shows. You know what I mean?
I wasn't. Well, yeah, we did get in the television show. I think that was more Conrad who was in the set of TV show. I thought maybe like if you do a trilogy, you could do, like the Vietnam era stuff with Snake Eyes, Stalker, them, and then the second would be, I guess like the early 80s, and then you end it with like 1994. They captured Cobra, and the team is disbanded at that point.
Right.
Just like issue 155, they disbanded. I don't know. I wish I could have your optimism, and I know you're infectious with it, so we'll all probably be optimistic within a week or two.
Good.
Okay. So here's I have some thoughts. I love the enthusiasm because I'm with you. And I do love his passion. And I do think he knows what he's talking about. I kind of chalk him up. There's a couple things. I chalk him up to the way I feel about Seth Rogen. I hate Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen, right? The actor from Superbad, and I'm getting
yeah.
Okay. Don't like him. I don't think he's talented. I don't think he's funny. I don't think he should have a career in front of us. However, he is one of the people responsible, besides Robert Kirkman, for giving us the Invincible animated series. That's his baby. And I'll tell you, you found your niche. That you are great at. So whether you love what's his name or not in his roles, I think maybe he wasn't great with the horror stuff. Maybe this is the thing that he was made for. Maybe it'll, you know what I mean? And again, he might be great. His ideas might be great. I worry Paramount might do what Amazon is doing a la Stargate and going, we don't really care about good ideas. We don't really care about the fan base. The last second, we're going to pull the rug out from under you, and we're going to either change it or have it not happen at all. That's my worry. I hope they don't, because as Mike said, along the way, it starts off perfect, and then more hands that feel like they have to change things for the sake of changing things. It gets sucky, and you're stuck with good actors and garbage movies, and it's not the actor's fault. but somewhere along the way, what was Devil's Advocate was a Brad Pitt, Harrison Ford movie that when they started it, it was great when they signed on for it. But then by the time it came out, both of them said, this is not the movie we signed up for. We're sorry, everybody. So I worry about that. Hopefully it's great. I think it is fairly simple to do a G.I. Joe. If you stay close to the source material and you treat it with respect, the audience is going to go, there, yes, you did it. We love that. Do that. The blog I wrote when they first announced the G.I. Joe Transformers thing, which we ever getting that?
Dead. I think that's dead in the water.
That should have been fast tracked. I mean, that was made to happen. But the thing I was worried about was, how do you do a 2-hour movie and introduce all of those characters and have a good story? And it really is near impossible. So my thought was, I think what you just said, or Conrad said, either you use the movie as a pilot, like the Stargate movie, for a show, right? It becomes a show, or you do a mini-series show before the movie. Because 2 hours, no matter what, how many people do you want on your team? We could start there. But whatever the answer is, not everybody's going to get enough screen time to flesh out you and I. Everybody on this that's listening to this knows these characters, right? We can talk about one character forever.
Right.
The general public doesn't, unfortunately. So that's who the studio's going. We got to make sure everybody knows this. 2 hours is not going to do it. So I pray to God they think of that and they give us more, coincidentally, because television gives you that breathing room. I don't care if it's 8 episodes or 22 episodes a season. That would be nice, because that way you could slowly introduce, here's how they became G.I. Joe. By the time it hits the theater, there it is. There's your payoff. There's your, what was it? The Star Wars thing with the Mandalorian. That's the 4th season that they did a movie for. But they were going to do, and I don't know if they still are, going to do the combo thing with Ahsoka and Boba Fett and Mandalorian was supposed to be a movie where all those shows come together. That's perfect, because that's the payoff for what all the seeds you planted. For
sure. I mean, I would love to get as much as we could. Like, I think this is definitely something that CG and I talked about last time, was that there's so much that you could make. Like, taking the idea of like the mass device is a whole plot. Pyramid of Darkness.
Sure.
How fucking awesome is if in like a 3rd or 4th movie we get like, say they do like 2 fucking really awesome movies and we're like, wow, this is great. And then they're like, check this out. We're now filming a triple banger, Arise, Serpentor Arise, right? Where they're trying to get that, like, I mean, you could probably just do that in one super long movie, but like, dude, I mean, they're just, I don't know. It just seems like there's so much shit.
What about the Energon cartoon we're getting, which coincidentally by the same people who did Invincible? So here's hoping they're doing the Energon universe cartoon, which means you get you guys have watched Invincible?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Say no more. That is so well paced, just like the comic, that they don't have to rush everything. Now do that with G.I. Joe. Not every episode has to be about Duke or Snake Eyes. You throw in a couple guys per story. Eventually it comes together by the end of the season. I hope that's what they're doing. They seem to be. And now even in the comic books, we have Mask and we're getting Rom. Holy crap. Like they're giving us
crazy.
So much in that same universe. Just, we're living in good times, guys.
We are.
We are blessed. We are truly blessed to see the things we love come around again and be better. Quite frankly, I love that Energon universe.
I'm very hopeful for that, in a sense that when you look at the guy that did Invincible, right, is the director, and what was the other? There was like a whole other part to that too. Everybody that I've spoke to whose opinion I value talk so highly of the Energon comic books, right? So it just seems to me like that it would be, it seems like a no-brainer that would make this like all totally awesome. So
are you reading it, Mike?
I have some of it, and I kind of am, but brother, right now if you just to give you an idea, like thankfully I coach all my daughter's sports teams, so thankfully softball just ended. But I have this massive remodel going on in my own house, so it's literally just like taking over.
But you will.
Oh yes, no. Oh, I'm absolutely going to.
There's some great stuff. It is so. The Void Rivals, which I thought was Kirkman's pet project. I'm like, what does this have to do with anything? I don't know these characters. I don't care. And it starts off slow, and all of a sudden you go, oh, this paid off. Oh, now everything's connected. G.I. Joe Transformers. Oh, it's so good. It's
right.
And now Mask. I didn't care about Mask as a kid. I had the one car because it reminded me of the DeLorean with the way the doors opened up. That was why I got that.
Yes. No. So I had. I think I had Condor, but other than that, it's like I can't remember anything. That I don't think I could. It was like Transformers. Like I think it was more expensive than G.I. Joe. Like the mask was, and I think I remember like seeing the Matt Tracker with the Camaro and thinking it was like, oh, I could get this or like 4 Joes and a hydro sled. It was something crazy, like the price difference. So, but yeah.
But like now they made it where Mask is freaking cool in the Energon universe. and like he knows clutch. And it becomes a whole thing. And you're like, oh, see, thank you. This is basically, and here's why. All the people that are in charge of Marvel movies, DC movies, Energon universe stuff, they're us. They were the kids that were playing with them using their imagination 30 years ago or more. And now they're in charge. So they're like, yeah, here's my toy box and here's how we're going to play.
Right.
It's amazing. It's so good.
Well, here's to ultimately here is to, hoping that the stars can align and we all wind up getting this good G.I. Joe movie. One thing that does concern me a little bit, and again, this is just, I don't know if this holds any relevance whatsoever, but like, I was hoping that He-Man was going to be a bit more of a commercial success, only because I felt like that was going to bolster, the chances of, getting into G.I. Joe movie. You know what I mean? I felt like if it was that maybe Paramount would have been a little more willing to toss whatever they need to get it done if that brought back maybe a better return.
I think we're looking at He-Man differently though. Like Amazon is putting everything behind it. They have a future with He-Man. They're not going to give up on this franchise.
Do you know that? It's official. They're making a sequel.
They're making the sequel because it's going to make out huge on their streaming service.
And
nice. Yeah, definitely.
People aren't going to the theaters anymore. It's how it is.
Movies aren't
so expensive. 150 million. Some are. I guess Toy Story is pulling in big money, but it's not all the time anymore. So we're going back to the days of where 60 million a weekend is huge money now, which that was 15 years ago.
Right.
So they're going to put their money behind it. We're getting the sequel to it. I think this will help. If Paramount is making the G.I. Joe movie and then Paramount buys Warner Brothers, they are going to have the biggest streaming service. And so they will look at that with the G.I. Joe. If G.I. Joe only makes like 150 million in the theaters and it hits streaming and it's top 10, for weeks and weeks and weeks, they know they have a moneymaker then.
Also, the merchandise alone, Classified has justified.
Right.
Classified has justified anything they want to do with G.I. Joe. Everybody that's listening, we're there. We're your audience, and we've already given you the money. We already paid for that G.I. Joe movie.
And I keep counting on that greed wins out here in a sense that, like, maybe if the right person just looks at it and goes, well, look at all this source material that's widely purchased. It's not just like, people love those first bit of comics, but they stopped buying the comics after. No, 1 to 155, everybody loves it. Same thing with the cartoon. I mean, maybe there's a lot of us don't really like DIC. I shouldn't say a lot of us, but a percentage of us dislike DIC. But still, the Sunbow, is a tried and true thing. Like I do the Good Morning Post every morning, and I put a clip.
Yes, you do.
So I've gone through at this point. I think I'm on Eye for an Eye, which I think is putting me almost to the end of season 1. Believe it or not, I started with the movie. I did clips of the movie, and then I went on to the Mass Device, Pyramid of Darkness. And then wasn't there another one, or it started right up at the regular Further Adventures of G.I. Joe was the first non-mini series, right? That's the first true 30-minute episode. But that to me, it holds up enough. Like I couldn't just sit there on my couch and watch 3 straight hours of Sunbow cartoon, right? But when I put it on when I'm down here messing around, I have my little JBL. And I throw it on, and then as it's happening, I can look over at the phone and catch a bit. Actually, it turns out I have an extra TV now, and I wanted to try to find a place, but I have no wall space. Everything it's nuts to butts in here. It's just crazy. But I finished that half of the basement, so I could put. Anyways, I digress. Yeah. So I guess I'm just gonna do my best to stay positive about it, and hopefully, like CG said, I will try to manifest it a little bit, and so I'm sorry, I totally missed my point there. My point is that I'm hoping the right person looks at the amount of material and goes, oh, we've got a whole MCU universe, like a whole Marvel universe style thing, TV shows, fucking full length films, combined movies where, it's like, I mean, how fast I would jump on a Night Force television show, you know what I mean? Where look, it's Beachhead, but he's kicking doors with fucking Shockwave now, and just
we talked about a show just about the Crimson Guards,
right?
The twins, right? It could be a law show, they're a cell in the government and stuff. These are the espionage of Cobra. I would be all in on a Crimson Guard show.
It would be nuts. Even if it was like imagine having a show where it showed, you're going from a trooper to a Viper. You're getting upgraded. You're getting the battle mask.
Even before they even enlist, you could even do that journey if you wanted.
100%.
That could be an episode of the animated series coming up. I could see.
They could. I don't know if you guys probably watched The Mandalorian. Do you remember when the 2 biker scouts had Grogu in the bag, and they were just sitting outside the city, and they were waiting for a call to come into the city, and they were just goofing off, shooting the gun and missing the can that was 10 feet. It kept hitting the bag because Grogu kept doing shit. You could do 2 Cobra Troopers, just an episode of 2 Cobra Troopers, and make it a comedy like Red versus Blue or some shit like that.
Right.
Star Wars did that.
And just two dopey Cobra Troopers that are just inept.
That they grew up in some trailer trash or something, and it was just easy money, and now they have this fucking thing on their face, but they're you said, they're just dope.
There was a Stargate. Listen to me. Let's see what's on my brain. Star Wars comic where it did 2 troopers and it showed them through the.
Oh yeah, something Bix.
You got it.
Binks, and.
Oh yeah.
What was the other guy's name?
Shout out to our brother Lewis is at Cobra Asset is here. Thanks for coming through. Also, our brother Just Another Jerk, the Pose Master, is in the house. Thank you for joining us. He's out doing his thing for the 4th of July weekend. I'm glad you were able to squeeze it in, brother. Really appreciate you.
I know all these names.
That's
hey, I know them.
That's what's up. I love it. Yeah, I mean, so whenever I see that somebody is engaging in the community and now becoming a part of it and furthering the positivity, the encouragement, all of that stuff, I figured let's try to get you out here for a second and have everybody give you a look-see. And like I said, it's just I don't know, feel like, because we all kind of hung around together for X amount of time. and so you have that benefit. But when somebody new comes along, I think it's great to have them on the show, because then it's just you can fast track that. We all know
Very nice, very sweet.
For sure. And that was part of it too. I mean, obviously, like I said, I'm a Blabbertron, so I knew that the podcast was coming, but then it kind of quickly became a way to further extend that awesomeness on the screen into something like
right.
that.
And also, instead of Twitter, we could do this. Like, whether it was recorded or not, it's fun to be able to go, hey guys, let's talk about things that you guys get that other people don't give a rat's rear end about. But you guys do, so let's talk about that.
Well, so what I'm thinking, I was thinking about this too. So we all have these big plans for Joe Fest next year, right? And for those of us that weren't able to go this year, because a bunch of us just had reasons, I right up until about 2 months before Joe Fest, I thought I was going to be able to make it. And then I got to a point, I was like, oh, the remodel's not going to be done. Family vacation is right after that. I have all this other stuff going on. I do have these 2 massive jobs. I was like, I can't do it. I can't. But now I can plan for next year. And so what I was thinking, I was in my head, I was like, man, should definitely do like a, because I'm gonna stay in that same hotel and do live from Viper Den Studios at Joe Fest. And I could probably set it up where we could get a bunch of people, and maybe we can only, depending on the mic situation, we might only be able to have people come in, sit down for 10-15 minutes, then have somebody new come in and just kind of go through anybody that oh my god, excuse me, that's got any that wanted to join in, and just so it would basically be like our Twitter community live from Joe Fest. This year we were spoiled though. My brother Chris from Sis 3D Arsenal came on the show last Saturday. Was that last Saturday? Holy Jesus, these weeks blend together. I think it was last Saturday, but yes, he was live at Joe Fest, and he was down in the lobby. He grabbed multiple people to come on, just stop in. It was like it was a live correspondent at the thing. Our brother G.I. Dave took a lot of pictures and did good job coverage. He was sending a lot of shit, so that was awesome as well. Yep. But yeah, shout out to Chris. Thank you again, brother, for being so kind. Now we saw the Sarge, and because Chris was like this with the phone, and so the Sarge was like behind him right over here. He was holding the phone just right. And yeah, no, I don't know if it. Yeah, I don't think you could, like, somebody like the Sarge, who's probably great, but who wants a phone? You know what I mean? So I think Chris, you did a fine job where you had him in the frame. We got to look at him. We got to see him interacting with Low Rent Serpentor, who was this guy in a Serpentor cosplay, but he had like the hood thing was like noticeably cardboard. Now we're not knocking. The way that I'm saying that is number one, it's probably all he had, right? It's not like he had access to these other materials. It was like, nah, the cardboard looks better. I'm just going to go with that. So he did the best with what he had. And also, if the dude was willing to wear that out in public, God bless you. I don't have the balls. So thank God. If that's what you want to do, it's cool. CG, remember the guy at CradleCon who had the that when we were standing outside by the cars, and the guy was like, hey, can you guys help me get the strap? I can't reach it.
I can't remember. They were dressed up like Mandalorians, weren't they?
I think, is that what it was? So
Yeah.
Riptide told us, I think I brought this up last week or something. And Riptide said what they were. I can't, Rip, if you're still here, brother, what was that again? He knew. He said it right off the bat, but it was something, it was something Mandalorian. I can't remember what the hell it is. But yeah, no, remember how awesome that was? That was fucking incredible. Like, we were all like, yo, what? Because he had trouble. He couldn't reach one of his straps or something like that. And we were all like staring. I think he noticed that we were all like, across the aisle, like, what the fuck does that guy got on? And he was like, can you guys help us? And we were all like touching it, like, dude, what is this? And I think he said he like 3D printed all of it or something like that.
Yes. Yeah.
It was awesome.
There was a guy driving around the parking lot. He had a scooter done up like a speeder bike, but it was so good that he had mirrors underneath,
right? So
it would reflect the ground and not see his tires and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was making the sounds like speeder bikes do and stuff. He was just cruising the parking lot, man. It was like, that's some good cosplay stuff.
Yeah,
it's insane. Yeah, that guy. Shout out to that dude at CradleCon. He looked fantastic. It was one of the coolest cosplays I had ever seen, right? I mean, I haven't seen them all. I'm not as versed as a lot of people. Maybe there's something else, but it looked so legit. Like all the sizes, the scale to it all. Just I don't know, man. It was.
He
fun.
was a Helldiver.
That's it.
The video game.
That's it. That's what he said. You're 100% right.
Yep.
Crazy town. Just crazy town.
If I had a 3D printer, I think I'd be making custom heads of MacGyver and Sam Beckett. All right, well, what's another one? How about Duncan MacLeod? I'm gonna do it. Okay, I would, I would just be going. It's probably best that I don't own that.
When I first got mine, I was doing Mortal Kombat masks.
Ooh,
like just the face plates of like Scorpion and Sub-Zero.
Sounds good.
I've done like a couple Friday the 13th masks and things like that just to have, but like now I'm playing around with Tinkercad and actually designing some things. So I just spent almost 9 hours today just working on. I didn't realize it. I just looked up and all of a sudden it was almost 8 o'clock. Working on something for the snake armor.
Is it expensive to do? I feel like the guts
print?
would be so you have to get all the crap.
No.
Actually,
No, the printers. I mean, you can spend a lot of money on printers
for
No,
sure.
it's not even the printer.
But-
It's the gunk inside.
This was like $28.
Yeah,
It's a lot.
it's not too bad. Like
And
resin's can get expensive.
ABS like too. It's good shit.
Filament is cheap. I don't think I ever pay more than $18 for a spool, and they last for a while.
It's beyond me, like because I could think up stuff, but I don't understand how you translate it from here into that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Dude, listen, the one that I have is where the bed, the thing goes up and down, the bed tilts, but the plate comes down. And dude, it's a flat plate that goes into liquid. Some lights happen underneath, and it literally hardens it exactly how it's supposed to be. I watched it the first 2 times it printed something, and I just was like, yeah, I've been paying as close attention as I've ever paid to anything, and I have no fucking idea how that works.
But it's got not to sound like an idiot, forgive me. Let's say just first thing I would print would be a custom MacGyver head to go with my GI Joes. Okay,
Right.
How do you do that? Is there like a code? Is it like slashes, dots that would figure out what angle to?
No, so like if you're not designing something yourself, so you go out to a site, you get a file that somebody already did design for you. You would open it up in what's called a slicer software. So with that, it's basically like you put in the information of your printer, of what it is and stuff, and it'll give you like proper like settings and stuff. So then you would basically import that head into the slicer. You see it, you can turn it around, you can manipulate it in every way, and then you would probably have it put supports on. So then you export it to a different file type that your printer can read, plug it in, and then the printer just knows what to do. What it reads is called G-code.
Okay.
So it's just a bunch of commands that it knows how to read. We just get a visual, like, yeah, this is my head that I'm printing.
I saw somebody actually did a MacGyver one, but it had the sunglasses on it. I'm like, no, you don't want to have them molded to the head. You want the sunglasses like an option, like Sergeant Slaughter, where you can take them off. But I thought, well, at least somebody's trying to do something. That's kind of cool. But I never understood the math. But I get it. I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
it takes a bit. Like it's a learning curve for sure. You'll have a lot of failures and stuff. I still have failures at times just because of stupid stuff that I forgot to do. But and especially when I'm learning to design more complex things, like I'll have test prints. I'll be like, well, this didn't work out. I didn't do this right. So then I have to go back, revise something, and then try another print and stuff. So that can get really expensive.
Yeah, I think when the 3D things started to come out, there was a Stargate action figure line, but they weren't very good. They were the right size. Like if you saw some of my pictures, I'll put Indiana Jones and Desert Jack O'Neill with some GI Joes, and then do the picture stuff. But the knees didn't bend. All the joints were very soft and could snap off. So you're like so close, but I kind of feel, I remember them saying that they did have the scan go around all the actors' heads to make sure that they got that part right.
Mm.
I feel like that was right at the beginning of 3D printing. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, yeah, we're going to use some cheap bottled stuff. And,
Well,
no,
yeah, they're not using cheap bottle stuff. Because there for a while, Hasbro had they'll print, like if you took pictures of your head.
yes, I wanted to do that and it's gone.
Yeah, they were doing that for a while, and they were using very high-end printers and high-end resin.
Yeah. I have faith in Hasbro. That's why
I don't know if you know who our Roadblock on our group is.
Yeah.
He's making figures. He's having actual 6-inch action figures made, and they're going to be 3D printed.
That's cool.
Oh, I saw. So anyway, I saw a little something that I don't think he's going to show till it's ready. I saw some shit, dude. These are going to be awesome. That's
just
that's
that
all,
1 minute. 1 minute video he had this past week with like showing the movements of the figure and all the articulation he's going to have. Like that's insane.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. It's going to be good. I'm really going to put a lot of effort into making a story that is worthy of that, right? Like he's got some really cool coming out, and I want to. It's been an interesting thing because it's set in the future. It's almost sci-fi-ish in a way, right? But I'm trying to root it down to a military sense. It's going to be in the future. There's going to be a lot happening, but in the end, it's still the good guys, the bad guys, and motherfuckers are going to die. They're always looking for something. They're always trying. There's always a scheme. There's always some kind of conflict. But at the end of the day, it's soldiers. It's people at the top making decisions. It's something that everybody's trying to get. And as long as I can keep it up, like just with that, it's gonna be good. I've had some pretty cool ideas and a lot of I had like 2 genuine ideas, and then like after thinking about them for a while, I'm like, oh, that's kind of the plot of so and so, not broad stroke, just like little details. I was like, oh, you know what? I think I saw that in fucking blah blah blah. And I'm like, all right, I won't do that. I'll just do this other thing. And so
that would definitely be my problem because all the stuff that I watched over the years, it would influence me way too much.
Well, I mean, you can't help it. It's in there. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, you're going to sample something whether you thought about it or not. If I write a song and I go, yeah, that was great, and I play it back, I'm like, wait a minute, that sounds too close to this other song that I like. Son of a, I can't use it.
Right.
Same thing with writing. Like when I write a story, I'm like, yeah, that's kind of like that one episode of whatever. As long as I'm not ripping it off straight, like everything, you got to let some stuff go. Like
right.
Yeah.
Agreed.
You're mixing and matching in your own way. As long as you're not being lazy, you're fine.
All right, fellas. Well, I'm going to try to wrap us up a little bit here. I just want to show some stuff off first. I want to hop in to show, let's see, here we go, some stuff from my brother, Chris from Sis 3D Arsenal, which right off the bat, I'll tell you, you can get all the stuff I'm going to show you and then so much more over at sis3darsenal.com. Use Destro Designs to get 10% off. This right here is a shot I did, and like every damn thing in there is from Chris. So we've got missiles, open missiles in a wonderful rack. We've got penetrating rounds that are in the black tube setup that's all the way to your left. We got the trooper holding one of his ammo cans. Right in the foreground, we got more ammo cans. His classic mission crates, that nice 55-gallon drum scaled perfectly. And then if you look at the whole locker system setup, I actually have that. It's right up here in the back. It's amazing. There's new parts and pieces coming to that have arrived. I believe they're actually available on the site. Get over there and take a look at them. This is one of my more favorite shots. I got to take this shot and put it in the Lightroom though, so I can dial down that overblown. Like if you look at the one side, I keep forgetting to do that. So I'll get back to that. But let's see. We got a lot more from my brother Chris. Let me find all this stuff here. Boop, boop, boop. Here's another one. Chris did this shot himself, actually, showing off. So if you look down here, we've got he had been making the red mission crates that had the medic symbol on it, but he's now made these crazy detailed inserts That insert will go in there, and removable from the insert is if you were looking at this down as it sits, the top left-hand corner is a big, like a bandage kit that you see is in Doc's hand. Mm-hmm. And then if you look what is in the bottom right-hand corner of that same thing, I believe it was like an iodine bottle, I think he said, that also comes out. How fucking nuts is that? It's amazing.
Love it.
Super inexpensive too. And if, again, Destro Designs will get you 10% off again. So there's that. Lots of really awesome shit. I showed the shirt off earlier. He's got all of this on sale and more. So get your ass over there to check out those. And let's see, what else do we got here? Oh, he's got 2 new like wall system setups, like a whole new thing here. This is the smaller of the 2. So this year you're almost making like a little jail cell with a little seat. But if you look, you can see the pegs, and it just gives you an idea of how his wall setup works and integrates with each other. Because you could get a few of these, put them together, make it bigger, make it smaller. That one right there is a smaller one. Let me bring that up here, and boop, and now we got a bigger one. So that's like, or 2 of them put together.
That's great. I love that.
It's so awesome, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, and what these products are good for is the stuff. Oh, holding cell. Thank you, Chris. Mm-hmm. What these products are good for is the module ability. So not only can you just configure it to like different stuffs for toy photography, it will fit on a shelf. So if you're displaying figures and room is an issue, you just put this up there, and even though it may be a holding cell, well, guess what? It could just be something that a bunch of figures stand on the shelf, because that's where you got to put it. You know what I mean? So absolutely awesome there. Very, very good. I feel like I'm missing a photo. I'll have to go double check real quick.
It's our new way of playing with our toys.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, this is the playability is through the roof. Here we go. This was from Joe Fest.
Oh, jeez.
This is our brother's huge. Is one of the many parts of his fantastic setup that he had at Joe Fest, turning heads like a motherfucker down there. So as you can see, there's a lot that's going on, right? A bunch of different facets, but this is what you can do. You can build these worlds. You know what I mean? Like it's like this right here is 1, 2, it's almost 4 different worlds with like a whole thing in the middle with that's Doc. And then I think, who was it? Firefly that's in the back there. I keep moving my cursor around this picture. Like you guys.
He's on the other side of the door.
Yeah, there it is. I mean, that's just amazing. Absolutely amazing. So let me see. I think I've got a better close-up of one of these here. There it is. So here's the boardroom. I mean, look at how awesome this is, right? Amazing. That table, the chairs, the filing cabinet, the walls. Look at how awesome the walls are, where, as you can see now, it's an upper level of it. So it's not just that one wall height. There's actually an extension that makes it go up. I mean, fucking A. How awesome is that? Look at, and behind Beachhead, you got the grill vent and all that. Like, dude, holy hell.
That's a dream come true. All that type of stuff, it's the stuff I dreamed of as a kid, besides always wanting the 6-inch guys for the detail. As a kid, I thought this. And I thought, all right, can you imagine if there was like a room where even if they just sat there? Well, here it is.
That's it. That's it. It is great. Let's see. So let's hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4. I definitely feel like I missed a pick. So and it's there's so much that he has there that is like, here it is. This is the one. That's the other picture I'm looking for. And you have to go to the website and check out like all the stuff for yourself. So like I'm showing just a very, very small portion of the stuff, and it's like you'll be blown away if you go over, you take a look. I don't know how else to say it other than
very addicting. I can tell you that's already very addicting. I'm just looking at this and I'm like, all right, I got ideas.
Yeah, no, for sure. Why can't I find it there? Where's the other one? I just saw it in the thing. Hold on a second. That's gonna make me nuts. Yes. SYS jail. Okay. So why can't I find it in the fucking is it not in It's going to be right in front of my face. I'm going to be like, what the hell?
Yeah.
No, because I tried to. Okay. No, it's so I have two spots. When I first download a photo, it goes into like a separate folder, and then when I rename it, it pops up, and I can see it in the.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah, no, it's crazy because I can't.
Like, come on, it's right there. Darn.
Right. Yeah, because when I go to the files, I see it in the files. So let me see if I can rename it. Maybe that'll help. Oh, that's probably why. Okay, I messed it up. That's why. Because you can't put it when you're renaming it. You have to leave the JPEG part, and I think that's what happened.
So I lost it. I got it.
Okay, so I probably almost are going to have to re-download that because let's see, JPEG. Okay, hold on. Here we go. JPG.
By the way, thanks everybody who's now hopping on Twitter and following me on there. I appreciate that. I'm following you back. That's the other thing too. I want to follow everybody, but if I, find me, and I'll follow you back if I can't find you first.
Very cool. Very cool. All right, so I'm going to try this one more time and see if my fix works. Poor CG, who is an IT guy, is listening to me fumble around. Okay, there we go. Got it. All right, let me see. Where'd it go? There it is. It's the one I want to show now. Bang. Awesome. So now you have that holding cell, but now you have in front of it. You have one what with the different colors. What it looks like to me when I see this is you've got your fixed bars on the right and the left, and then the red one in the middle connotes like an opening one that'll move, right?
You know what that is, and I know from experience. I had the Hall of Justice from the Superpowers, and it's that same type of setup. I'm like, where it's the four walls in the middle, the different color is the door, and it's those type of bars too.
Yep. It just looks amazing. Everything scales so good with what he does. It's just amazing. So everybody remember that is sis3darsenal.com. Make sure your ass is over there. I'm gonna have to get a whole new set of pictures and some other stuff just to kind of make sure that I'm going over everything. And let me just run through real quick because I feel like there might have been another picture that I had set up here, or maybe even another one from last week. Let me see what we got here.
I love that we got another version of Quick Kick too. Quick Kick, I've always loved. As soon as he was coming out, I grabbed him, and then they come out with the other version. I'm like, oh, I want that one too.
Right.
I may just buy the vest though and slip it over because it's the same figure mostly.
Oh, you know what? Chris from Sister also says Terradrome. That's right. So that's the one. That's the jail cell style is mimic after the Terradrome. Yep. That's the one. Oh my god! In the back of my head, I was like, man, don't I know this?
I wouldn't be surprised if it's like all the guys who made the '80s toys were like all in the same office and said, "Oh, you're doing the Superpowers? I'll use it for that."
Right. So here are the shirts that my brother has to offer. So like I said, I've got this one, which is the one in the bottom left-hand corner that you got there. And then I am in the one I'm going to get next is up in the top right-hand corner. I just love the design. I think it looks clean and sharp. And I love those colors. Chris is a Seattle Seahawks fan. And so that's where he kind of got that idea from. But it looks fantastic. I absolutely love it. And remember that, when you buy stuff from Chris, you're supporting a good guy. In a world where there's so many different options that you have for stuff that's, big, huge corporations or whatever. It's always nice to support a guy that's out here hustling and grinding and creating good shit. Chris had a great showing at the booth down at Joe Fest. I was super happy that he did that. Like the pictures from Joe Fest were awesome. Just seeing him there with different people and how he had like the coolest damn setup. Like when he sent me those pictures, and I was like, wow, look at this shit. And we were showing them off on the show. I was just like, I was blown away. Like just the banners and stuff that he had, it all looked just incredibly awesome. So shout out to Chris. And congratulations on all that success, my dude. You are absolutely crushing it. sis3darsenal.com. You can use Destro Designs, get you 10% off. You can also, if you are one of those premium members on Etsy and you get free shipping through that, you can still order through the Etsy store that Chris has on Etsy. Still can also use Destro Designs to get you that 10% off. Boom, that's it. So make sure you are checking all his stuff out. Even if right now you want to just go and even if you just want to go look at what he has, you'd be surprised at how inexpensive a lot of the stuff is. So I would definitely go check that out. So now moving on to somebody else, my other 3D printing brother is Matt from Mo's Mind. And Matt from hit the wrong one. Matt from Mo's Mind has been crushing it for a hot minute himself. Here's a picture. I'm going to start off with this as I'm loading some more up. So this is what I call the best bang for your buck. And what I mean by that is this, you can buy this and it can sit on the shelf as an excellent shelf piece where you can set up stuff, but the playability on this is absolutely out of control. You can take the top off. You can swap. So if you look at that beautiful Modus that he has there, perfect with Roadblock, you can lift that out, and the hole that is left there actually is made to fit gridiron stuff. So if you have like a gridiron, like a Joe Green gridiron type weapon, that shit will slide right in there, and it looks awesome. That's actually what I have on mine right now. Is hold on, I still have the Modus. It's right here. Here is his arc cannon, which is part of the modular base system. But yeah, so here is my. So I'm knocking everything over. Here's what mine looks like with this cool. This originally came off of a gridiron drone, and I think it just looks ridiculous here, like totally awesome. What I like about this top too is I have some sandbags. I put the sandbags up there, and you can put something like this where I got, if you want an extra one, this is what I have. This is from the 50th soldier, legacy soldier. Boom. Very good. Let me see here as I'm trying to pull up some more stuff. I got to rename all the Matt stuff too. It's the worst because I can't see the little preview picture.
Oh, fun.
I know. It's brutal. That's okay, though. Here, I've got this one right here. Bang. Here we are. This is the inside of the outpost.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, so if you look on the right and the left, you can see that those are backpack holders. Yep. They're just little teeny tiny pegs that the backpack just sits into. It's like on each side, it's like a long, broad piece that you can move them, so you can configure the different kinds of stuff, and yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. I love this one. Let's see here, where's that one there? Let's open these real quick. So this is the outpost. He's launched the MAGS, which is Mo's Armament and Gear Systems, and one of the things that our dude has are these tablets. Look at how sweet they are. Wow. So Matt is wielding a Eufy maker, and it has upgraded all of the different things that he's doing. So these little tablets, like, look at the detail on the picture, look at the detail on the back, the design. It really, really makes you think that this is like a military grade, type of thing that you can have out in the field that can get dropped and hit and everything like that. It was just absolutely, I think he crushed it with this. I got to write the prices down because I think this is the one I think that was incredibly cheap. I think this is the one that was like $11.99 for 3 of these, which is fucking nuts. Like I'm paying that all goddamn day, without question. That is just wow. Holy fucking hell. Also from the MAGS line is binoculars. Now, I was trying to find another shot of these, so let me go back and look while you guys are enjoying that, because I know there's... Oh, here they are right here. These are awesome. Our dude has put fabric onto it, so it actually gives you So for toy photography, you're getting a proper drape, right? Not that plastic where they're sticking out, hanging like way over here, and then you try to push it down, and then it still sits up like it almost looks like it would be standing off the back of their neck. Dumb shit. Just dumb shit. This is going to give you that look. Like this is one of those things that like you're gonna pay pennies for it in essence, and it's gonna make your photo look so much better, right? Like not even close to better, just like totally ridiculous. So that's a binoculars. They're fucking sweet. Also, we've got boom. These are ridiculous. So the design on these is so totally off the hook. Like it's I'm gonna have to try to find the shot of them from behind. I feel like I accidentally deleted this. So there is a shot that has these, and you could see them. And you could see you could see behind the shield. Shit, I don't have it anymore. And you could see that he's got a sidearm in there. And it looks amazing. It really looks amazing. Okay, let me load this one too. We'll add that new picture. So there it is. There it is. So you can see the front and the back. That sidearm comes out. It is. Yep. And the handle grip will actually move, so you can put it into either hand of your guy. That's the thing. The one that came with Shockwave and Road Pig, I think it was. It sucks because you can only like where the dip is to put your weapon over is on the opposite side of where they have to hold it. It's really fucking stupid. It's one of the stupidest things I've ever seen in my life. Like legitimately, you're just like, yo, what is this now? But yeah, this is the Moe's Armament and Gear Systems Ride Shield. Cannot wait to get my hands on one of these.
Comes with a gun too.
Yeah, it comes right in there and everything. Fucking sweetness. So let's see what else do I got here. So something else. Here's a shot I did. This is from the jungle I built in my basement to do a bunch of photos for Mo. And here we have, this is his Merc, which is the full-on boat. That is totally awesome. You can fit a bunch of guys in there. Here we got we have a diver team that is dragging that up onto the water. I really missed that dial. I'm not gonna lie. I had a lot of fun doing that, and I think it looks awesome. I tried to take another picture of that, but I don't think it loaded. I think I double tapped it on accident, and I don't know what happened. Is this it? I think this might be it. Nope, but this is another one. This is the back of the Atlas. So this is the Atlas right here. I've talked about this at length. It's his magnum opus. It's ridiculous. It's like the coolest damn thing that I have, and it's so big it swallows the hiss in an embarrassing way. But this overblown picture that I'm showing you now, this is the back of the Atlas. If you look behind the Night Force ram cycle, you'll see that is a bulkhead style door that goes into the cockpit of it, which I'm going to be doing something with toy photography that I tried to set up with it a little bit. And Orskizio, thank you, brother. That I want to set up where there's somebody opening the door and sticking their head out and like pointing and having like a bunch of people. Because if you look where those helmets with the nods are, those are seats that actually fold up and go down. So you can have it hold stuff. Also, if you look up at the top there, you can see me pointing. I'm a crazy person. If you look at the top there, you can see there's backpack holders up there too, and that's on each side. So very, 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 very cool. And then one more thing here from my brother Matt. This is the Oracle, which is awesome. So there's 3 different screens. This one right here is the laboratory type one, where if you look at now, unfortunately, because I'm still shooting on a phone and not an actual camera, you can't see the detail on all those lines. So what would happen when you see it in person is that that's a super fine detail and it looks like a computer screen. Here it makes the lines look fuzzy and a little bigger than they really are. So unfortunately, I have to get better pictures of that so we can fucking see it. But yeah, that's what's up there. Let me see. I thought I had one more finished photo for Matt, and I've got to get this straight. What I should do is just make a video so I can play the video every once in a while and then just bust that right out. Oh, damn it. No, you know what? I didn't. Oh, here it is. The other thing that I forgot to mention from Moe's Armament. Oh, God, I have too many. Hold on. I got to remove one. the last one from Moe's Armament and Gear Systems is this is I went over to the creek by my house. I know I started talking about this earlier. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Well, anyways, there's slings. I just saw it, you son of a bitch. Oop, there it is. And so they come as a 2-point sling, but then you can loop them together to make a 1 point. And here we see Tiger Force Outback has his primary, which is slung down, still at the ready, while he goes, you can't see it, but just off screen is his silence secondary, and then his knife. So he's full silence, close quarters ready, and still after, he makes his move, or if something goes wrong, he's got his primary at the ready, and it's right there and ready to go. So that's what's up. I love these. So it's got 1, 2, 3 different tri-glides that, like I said, you can take them, so you could unloop the one loop, and then you could put it on the barrel on the stock. And I don't have it here, but it's I have Beachhead using a 1-point sling standing next to Tiger Force Tunnel Rat, whose M60 is put, with the stock in the barrel, and that's a 2-point. So 2-point, 1 point, and yeah, that's what's up. Now Matt can be found over at Etsy. That's Moe's Mind Custom Design. Shit, I don't have the link. The link will be in the show notes later, but you can also find him at constantly. If you follow me on any social media page, there's 100 different places that you can find a link to bring you over there. And Destro Designs 10 is going to get you that 10% off over there as well. So everything that Moe has ranges from something like this, where you get 3 slings for $19.99, or you can get yourself an Atlas, right? So it's all ends of the spectrum as far as the price goes. And again, just as I had said with Chris, listen, Matt, this isn't a side gig for him. Matt is a full-time 3D print and hustler. So you're not just supporting your man, you're supporting his whole family. And he couldn't do it for a better guy. Matt is fucking awesome. He's actually doing something for me right now. I can't wait. I'm going to have something that I'm going to be selling where 100% of the proceeds are going towards the creation of DestroDesigns.com. I think did I say it already? Tumblers. But wait till you see him. They're going to be fucking dope. Matt has been so generous to donate his time and his ink to make these for me. And that way I can make a couple bucks that I can use to pay somebody to put this fucking website together for me, because I am a monkey slamming on the keyboard and would not be able to design this website. So again, Moe's Mind Custom Design, you can find him over on Etsy and use Destro Designs 10 to get your 10% off. Love it. So I think we've reached the end of the road, boys. We 3.5 hours. I've been trying as hard as I can to keep it to 3 hours. I feel like, once plus I have a long day tomorrow. I'm taking my wife, my kids. We're going over to my mom's. There's a bunch of people that are going to be barbecuing all day. Then I'm going to come home for a little while, and I'm going to attempt to bring my kids to fireworks. I have a funny feeling after they've been playing with their cousin, and I actually invited one of my kids' friends over after they've been running around all day, and we go home at 5 o'clock. I don't think they're going to make if we have to turn and burn and go somewhere else for fireworks, I think that's going to be a tough sell. I don't think they're going to want to do it as much as they seem to, but I'm going to try like hell. I'm going to try to get over there. And because there's Albany is doing it right down here. There's the one place, I think Schenectady's might have actually been tonight. But yeah, so I see everybody saying good night. Orskizio, Cal, NJ, Eddie 88. Oh yeah, I did see your comment, Eddie, about being 45 minutes away from you when I'm down in Cape May. That's crazy. But yeah, thank you everybody for what did I do here? Comments. Okay. Thank you everybody for coming. I greatly appreciate it. Mac, why don't you give us the lowdown on where everybody can find you?
Okay. Well, I have a general hub. If you type in the Forever Adventure Network, that will take you to the hub. Where Anywhere you want to listen to a podcast, you could do it on YouTube or Spotify or iTunes, or that's a hub for the store and any of those links and the blog. But if you also type in Forever Adventure Network YouTube, you're going to see all the shows on there too. So if you want to watch something while you listen, I give you that option. Instead of just being an audio thing, I try to make the visual stuff as exciting as possible, which with a podcast, you could do this. But with an audio series, I had to be a little more creative and come up with pictures, and now can do the story a la pictures as you listen. So if everybody would please just go to the YouTube page, that's a nice start.
There you go.
You know, anybody ever wants to leave a tip, I have a Patreon that you can go to. Just type in either my name or Forever Adventure Network. You're going to find all the stuff. It was just much easier, like what you're trying to do, Mike, with your site.
Yeah.
If you have everything funneled through one name, Forever Adventure Network, that'll get you everything else. So
Perfect.
just do that if you would. It would mean the world to me, because you bust your chops making all this stuff for people. You want to make sure they hear it.
For sure. No,
Please
a hub is great. I'm glad you got that. Definitely.
Thank you.
And we will stand with you in your fight, to save Stargate, and hopefully maybe it can bear fruit. Now, I was looking when we were talking about it earlier. It was 10 seasons. I didn't know it was that. I knew it existed. I just didn't know. So I'm gonna give it a shot, and I'm sure I'll like it. I'm always looking for
You're gonna love it.
Something to put on. So that's awesome. So no, thank you much, brother. CG, where can we find you, brother?
On X. That's where I'm at most of the time. I do have Instagram, but I'm not on there as much. So just find me on X.
It's not as fun.
Yeah.
It's post a picture, and that's pretty much it.
You start it there, and it goes to your Facebook and everything else. That's why I do Instagram. I'm like, look, pictures that will direct you to,
a place where I'm talking. That's the difference. So even if you post a picture on Twitter, your words are on top of the photo. So you're talking first, images and media second, which I think is the best. So boys, that's it. So I see GI Dave is out of here as well. Kalel and Lewis, Cobra Asset. Gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out. I really appreciate it in the chat. You guys are always like 50% of the show, as I always say. But CG, Mac, thank you guys for coming on tonight. I appreciate it. Stay safe this weekend. We all know we can be as safe as we can, but it's all the other idiots that are out there that you got to worry about, right? I remember thinking about how young and dumb I was, and that scares me to death every single day, because there's like people that are out there walking around as crazy as I was. So, but that's it. Happy birthday, America. I'll be celebrating first thing in the morning. I felt like I was celebrating already a little bit today, but don't. Oskizio says, "Don't JPP yourself." If you're a Giants fan, you know that reference. We had this amazing defensive lineman that literally blew. I think it was these 3 fingers off of his hand. He had to have something. He was never the same player again either, because you need your hands to push and control and everything like that. But nope, don't JPP yourself. That's for sure. And don't Uncle Ned yourself, or don't Uncle Ned the people that you're with by having it explode just right over your head like that. So awesome. Another one bites the dust, boys. I'll let everybody know what's going on next week as soon as I nail it down. I got a couple things floating around there, but we will see what happens. And I will see you all in those Twitter streets for sure. Have a good night, everybody.
You too.
Bye.
See ya.